I would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era about to snap.
When I get introduced to the on shows,
people
call me all kinds of names. Mowhaa, Mohawk, Mowhaa.
Yeah.
Mowhaa. I heard all kinds of shit, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't give a fuck how you call me. But if you put me on a flyer, and
you misspell it and like
misspell it, then I get mad.
Then you're like, this is crazy.
Because I'm like, it's right there. We're talking.
Yeah.
You have my name saved on your phone.
Yeah. Like double check the Instagram and just get it right.
I'm like, get it right, because if people think I'm funny and they want to find me, I need that.
Yeah.
And you know, misspelling pisses me off. Saying it, I don't give a fuck how you say it. You know.
And Mowhaa, that's like more laughs. Like Mowhaa.
Yeah. I was killing the one time at the roast battle, and Jeff Ross was like, Mowhaa, right?
Yeah, more haha.
And then I did one bad joke. He goes, less haha.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeff Ross is hilarious. But dude, out of all African names, your name is pretty simple. I mean, like spelling and sound, like it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it gets more difficult. There's levels to this shit.
This is level C.
I'm like, it's just Mowhaa.
Yeah.
You know, it's not or you know.
It's weird when it is like
crazy.
I don't know. I think it's every culture, but it's more predominant, obviously, in America with white culture because we're so baked in it. But for some reason, you do have a large majority of people that whenever they even like see a name or hear a name with any level of like pronunciation that's any different than they're used to, it's like, no.
Yeah.
But then there's like crazy like Irish names. They're like, oh, boom, got it. And you're like, oh, you know a crazy name. You can do it.
But you know, I'm competitive. If I see a name that spells weird, instead of giving up like Americans, I try to win it. I try to say it right. I try.
Say at least
they're like,
try.
I'm not going to say this name right. They just like give up.
Well, and that's I do hate it when I do feel bad when it's like when people like just ditch the difficult name and say like, okay, like call me Abby. Yeah. And it's like, no. Like, let's actually like figure this shit out.
That's soft. I'm like, you got to be proud of it. Yeah. Like, no, I need you to get my name right.
Get your fucking name right.
You know what I mean?
And that changes because people will actually like start changing their name or like, this is my American name. Like, no, your fucking name is Chabuku. And then you need to chill with Chabuku.
But I'm Henry.
When I was in college, I had like Asian friends, right? In college. They were like, my American name is Brian. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know your American name.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I had a friend, his name was, what was his name? It was like, literally his name was like Chibuku Awui or something like that. And something along those lines. And then, he's like, yo, my name is Daniel. I'm like, stop. Please. Stop. You're fucking Chibuku.
Yeah. What's wrong with Chibuku is different, bro.
It's fun.
And it's sick. Because like any time that you're, especially in like the world of like entertainment, you want a definable name.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the whole fucking point. That's why you see people that's name are Kevin.
Yeah.
They change their name up big time.
Yeah.
And they'll be.
It's not Jamie Foxx.
No.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That kind of shit.
Bro.
What is Jamie Foxx's real name?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Actually, but dude, Jamie Foxx, we don't even know like what his condition is.
Right now. Is he okay?
No, they say he's getting better. They said he's getting better.
That's a scary situation,
he got
right?
Stroke?
He had a stroke.
Yeah, that's insane.
I love Jamie. He's the most talented person.
The most talented person on earth.
His fucking comedy is underrated. Like one of his comedy had that green silk shirt on.
Yeah.
It was one of the funniest stand-up specials.
We always like to rate like who, you know, like the whole like Jamie Foxx or like Will Smith. Who's the most talented person?
Not even close. Jamie Foxx, 100%.
Right.
Well, it made official because Will Smith said it on his Instagram. Like Jamie Foxx is the most talented person.
I'm glad he said it. But let's be honest. Jamie can sing his ass off. If he's like Brian McKnight. He could do comedy at the best level.
And like really, really, really good.
Bro, he got an Oscar. I thought it was Ray I was watching when I saw Ray Charles' movie.
Ray was amazing. You know?
But when you can do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And then like acting in comedy. And then doing drama too. It's like, dude, you are. And then he's like, and then I'm gonna fucking do a #1 hit singing. It's like, what are you talking?
Yeah, and he can I think he can dance too, like you know, but still, I mean, holy shit!
Like, and now he's playing Tyson. He's fucking jacked. Come on, before he got.
And he's a sex symbol. Come on, it's like it's crazy.
When I was a kid, you know, I had the short hair. They used to, when I was in high school, they're like, "You look like Jamie Foxx," and I used to hate it, right? Because I'm like.
Are you just saying that?
I'm like, no, I'm serious. In Sweden. All my white friends think I'm like.
Oh, sweet, yeah.
They would just say you look like Jamie Foxx.
Even my black friends said I look like Jamie, and I used to hate it.
It must be because you don't like the hair. It throws it off.
We both have a fine hair, right? I have a big forehead, like Jamie.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I didn't think we had anything alike, and I used to hate it. And then now I'm like, can they say I have Jamie Foxx skills?
Right. Well, yeah, they obviously like our talent levels are similar, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I wish I had his talent, you know what I mean?
But we should introduce the show. This is Smart and Wild. We got Mowhaa in the place.
What up? Thanks for having me, guys.
A comedian just like on the rise here in LA.
Yep.
Starting to see your face pretty much on all different stages.
Yep.
Within Los Angeles comedy scene. That's been exciting to see. You were on stage. Cam went up before you.
Yep. After.
Oh, you went after?
Right after me.
And now you'd be going up before him though.
Yeah. I got dropped in the list. It's fine. I'll take it.
But it's been cool to see because just it's fun going in to these comedy shows. You'll do like a Tuesday night 10 p.m. show, and then before you know it, as you track like a person like yourself, you're like, oh shit, like this is starting to happen. We're starting to see this growth.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've been getting a lot of shows, but when I go to the comedy store or the Laugh Factory, Improv, I'm still like, they're like, get out of here. They're big time, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, I get it though. I'm still a baby comic. You know? So I get it. Yeah. But I'm working my ass off.
Well, and that's what's so cool about the LA comedy scene though, because you are on the same stages with the big guys. Yeah. And at some point they were at your place.
Yep.
And you know what I noticed about that? Usually it's the door guys or comics that's on upcome that has been doing it for 10, 15 years. That's not that great. That hate on the young comics. But when he goes step above, when I talk to Bill Burr and Andrew Schultz and
the real
guys,
comics
they
would never
so
hate
nice.
you.
They're so nice.
Right.
Dave Chappelle, Donald Rawlings, Bill Burr, Andy Letterman, all these people are very nice. Chris Rock's been nice to me. He made me in New York. He came up and shook my hand. And was like, "What you doing?"
Because also with Chris Rock, like Chris Rock before his last one came out, there was a time where it was like, where is Chris Rock?
He's just rich.
I remember even seeing him like downtown, like during his divorce, and he did not look great. And he wasn't up on a comedy stage. I just saw him walking on the sidewalk. I was like, oh shit, he looked like a homeless person.
I saw him at the one night. I'm sitting at the patio at the campus. He walks in, looking like not good,
haggard.
Right? He goes up, and does like 30 minutes, and everyone running. Of course, he's a legend, and he's done. He just walks on Sunset. I'm like, is Chris Rock just walking by himself at 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on?
That's incredible.
And then they were like, yeah. I'm like, he could get beat up. And they're like, nobody notices Chris Rock.
That's the privilege of comedy, I think. Yeah. I think it's
But he's a movie star, too.
It's true, but he's always comedian, first, right? And I think it's so important to start your career as a comedian because you always have this leverage of one, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say when you want to say it. And then two, there's a certain level of humility in that position.
Yeah, and then if you say whatever you want in Hollywood when I cancel you, granted, they need to cancel the pedophiles. But if you say something that's not politically correct and they cancel you, you go back to comedy. You're like, I don't need you. Yeah. Comedy makes money now.
There's like a safe space inside of the. Well, I hate safe spaces, but it's true. Like in the idea of like you can always go back to the comedy store and they'll say you're one of us.
Lou is thriving right now.
Yeah, you can always go back to the comedy store and guess what? Give it time and you'll probably be back on the movie stage anyway.
Yeah. And they'll remember why you were supposed to go.
Yeah. You'll remind them again.
I'm so sad they're trying to cancel Tiffany because she was in a sketch that she didn't write. Right.
Yeah.
And then now after like she was laying low, she was doing comedy for like last 6 months. Yeah. Now she's coming back to Hollywood. I'm happy for her because last 6 months I got to know her, hang out with her a lot. She's so sweet.
Wait, why are they trying to cancel her now?
Because
she was in a
video.
sketch.
Yeah, a video that she had, a sketch that came out with what's his name?
Ari Spears.
Ari Spears is that guy. Whatever. Anyway, and it was like kind of weird, kind of cringe, kind of creepy, whatever. But like she didn't write it. Ari Spears wrote it. You know what I mean?
Why? But what was the particular moment?
It's like a pedophilia, like they grooming a kid.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like helping the kid to go to these dudes. But it's a creepy sketch, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, she was by then. This sketch is old, right? So when this sketch came out, she was a young comic like I am, and she was just happy to be in presence of the superstars.
Yeah.
You know, he was on the Saturday Night Live, and she's like, "Oh, I love to be in this sketch." She didn't give a fuck about what was on it.
And Ari Spears was super popular back then.
Yeah, he was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, you're right.
And it does. It's weird when you're trying to come up with a comedy sketch, and now you're gonna like put it on video or whatever. Everyone's grasping at straws a little bit. Like you're like, am I being funny? Does this work? Yeah. And unfortunately, what happens is if one person says, "This is what we're doing. This is the bit," everyone around is going to say, "Okay, this is the bit."
Especially the young comics. Especially the young comics.
Of course.
If you're the star and you're like, "This is the bit. You want to be in the video?" I'm like, "Just to be in the video with you." I'm like, "Yeah." So how is it?
Cam has to do stupid bits all the fucking time on YouTube.
Right. But then 10 years later, I canceled because I jumped in a video and I was trying to expose myself.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So
I'm happy she's back.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
So what's your career about? Like, just tell us a little bit about you, like how you got into comedy, where you started, what's it looking like?
So my name is Mowhaa. I'm from Somalia, East Africa, right? And then when I was 5 years old, I moved to Sweden.
No way.
Yeah, Stockholm. It was like civil war going on, so my parents wanted a better life for us. Thank God they did, because I didn't have to become a child soldier.
Well, I'm from Minnesota.
Oh,
So
you know
tons of Somalian and
crazy Somalians,
right, and Ethiopians came to Minnesota. We have like the largest population of
America.
Somalians, for sure, in America.
Yeah.
And then I think only maybe London.
London got 2
outside
million.
of Somalia.
2 million.
Yeah.
London got 2 million Somalians. Toronto got, I think, 1 million. Minnesota got 500,000.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, so you're gonna? I mean, when I start sharing this with my Minnesota friends, you're gonna pop.
Oh, you're a Minnesota guy?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know once I
We
start.
got to get you on some Minnesota stages.
Yeah,
actually.
once I start touring, I think Minnesota is gonna be one of my biggest stage, one of my bases, because Somali people see me. They only fuck with me once I make it, though. I gotta make it first.
Yeah,
So I'll be
yeah,
like,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's like
yeah.
all
That's
cultures.
everything.
It's
Yeah, yeah.
easier to make it outside
Yeah.
of your home,
Yeah.
and then everyone goes,
Come
okay.
back.
It's not
Yeah,
easy
yeah, yeah.
to make it in LA, but I'm saying if I make it in LA, or if I get on one movie or TV show,
It's a wrap.
and then I go to Minnesota, I could probably sell out, bigger venues.
Well, so like,
you know.
so
Makes sense.
Yeah.
who was what was the Somali pirate movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh, Captain Phillips.
So
I
they-
have bit about it in my jokes.
So
Yeah, same here. We know. We'll talk about that later. But yeah.
But- so-
that was hilarious. Yeah. Go ahead.
They
go ahead.
came to Minnesota and did all their casting there,
Yeah.
and so a lot of the guys like
I know.
they popped
I know Barkat, the main guy with the messed up teeth.
from Minneapolis.
Yeah, I know him because I did a show called Little America on Apple TV.
Okay.
And he was the lead. And then in between sets, we were just talking. We vibed. Then I told him about this stand-up comedy, right? And he was like, don't talk about just Somali stuff. Because this guy's like such a fob, right? He came to America late in his age.
Yeah.
So he's not like people that grew up like in the Western world. Like I grew up in the Western world, right?
So you kind of get both sides.
Yeah,
You-
I get
you-
both sides, and I have the culture. But he's like, I was impressed. His advice was great. He goes, don't just talk about being Somalian. He goes, talk about everything, dude. And I was like, I do that already. And he's like, good. He's such a nice guy. He
Because
gave
you
me
don't
his
want to get
number.
caught in
Yeah.
this fucking niche. Because he probably did in his acting career, right?
Yeah,
Because
he
you do
was
the Somali
typecasted.
pirate movie,
Yeah, he was
and
definitely
then
type-
you're like stuck as being like this
The
kind
Somali
of
guy.
guy, this pirate.
Right. And now he does that guy. But don't get me wrong, he's making more money than a struggling artist like us. You know what I mean? He's
Right.
on movies and TV shows, you know. But he only get casted for that. But also he doesn't have a training, right? So now he trains. I guess he has a coach. But
That's cool.
You know,
Makes sense.
But when I moved to Sweden, as a kid, with my crazy family, we were living like in a 2-bedroom apartment, and then my African parents don't know what condom is, so of course we had babies, babies. I have 12 siblings.
Oh,
Shit.
that's like a throwback family.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a-
You don't see much of that anymore. That's
right,
sweet.
right? But
That's like
but I
3
remember,
caravans.
You know how people had like bunk beds
Yeah.
in the rooms? We had so many bunk beds in the rooms. We had to literally roll to the middle, tuck and roll, and jump out of the door.
You have enough family members that like when you put a video up on Instagram, it almost immediately like puts it into like, oh, this thing's like organically
Yeah,
growing.
all of my shitty ass siblings fucking liked it, shared it.
Yeah.
Piece of
Like
shit.
literally just have
They
them
gonna
like
do-
it, and all of a sudden it just boosts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, see, my siblings don't do shit, right?
Yeah.
They go, I talked to them like months later. They're like, hey, man, I like that video you did. I'm like, you didn't fucking like the video?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, sorry. I'm like, you piece of shit. You're supposed to
You
support
don't
me.
like unless you, and as a family member, you didn't like it unless you liked, comment, and shared it.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
do
only
none.
like a family member.
And they
can
didn't
do.
even do
No.
none. And I'm like, listen, when I make it in Hollywood one day, because I wouldn't make it, I don't want you to act like, look how much I'm sharing my brother. I'm proud of him. I don't want to hear no proud bullshit.
Yeah.
Because you're not giving a fuck about me right now.
They love you, but that's the thing. It is odd when you're like
Yeah.
it's slowly growing.
It's tough with like the closest family. You'll like your fans will be like outside of that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like it'll be
Bro,
like yeah.
In LA, our friends, we support each other. Like when I see your post, I like, and
Yeah,
comment
yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
natural. We know
Right,
how
right.
it works, right?
Right.
And then I'm like, our friends support each other better than our family or our people.
That's the case kind of all the time. Unfortunately, that's kind of the case.
Well, you gotta trust the process, right? So I'm like
Yeah.
working my ass off. So once I finally get a pop, I know my people will start supporting me.
Yeah.
And once
Yeah.
my people support me, then Hollywood will give me hopefully more opportunities.
yeah.
So how do you go
You
from
know.
Somalia to Sweden? And I haven't been to Sweden, but I'm Swedish Norwegian, right?
Oh.
That seems like the whitest culture in the world.
It is. But Stockholm is very diverse.
Okay, it is.
Because Sweden accepted so many immigrants in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s. So I don't know if it was the 70s, but in the 80s and 90s for sure. So there was like a lot of Africans,
Yeah.
a lot of Middle Eastern people, like Iran, Iraq, Palestine.
My
those
wife's
guys.
Iraqi.
Yeah. So there's a lot of Middle Eastern people, a lot of like Colombian and Chile people.
Okay.
So it's super diverse. And yes, that we discovered racism, when I was
Sure,
there and
sure.
stuff and all that. But
But did you
it's
like-
America? It's a little racist, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, anytime that you put a lot of people in the same place, and especially when it comes through like different levels of tragedy, there's going to be like levels of segregation in the space of like saying like this is where all of the immigrants are coming.
Right.
Yeah.
And
right.
it gets dicey quick.
Yeah, because especially white people that were not used to us, they're like,
Yeah,
"What the
yeah.
hell? Yeah, just accepted anybody?"
Well, and Somali culture is different, man.
Oh, we crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we're wild.
loud, it's wild, it's in your face,
Yeah,
it's
Somali
aggressive.
people. We talk with our hands.
And so when you do
Yeah.
come to like these, like especially like in Minnesota, which is kind of like just these, it's a different type of white culture. It's very inviting, excited, and all this stuff. But it's like straight up, it's as white as white goes.
Yeah.
And then Somali culture, there's a huge clash
Yeah,
there. It's
yeah.
a different thing.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, and that's why Somalia has had civil war going on for 35 years because, or more than 35 years because they can't get along. They're like, I want my tribe to be running the country. I want my tribe. And that's what I love about my parents. They're like, if you hear anybody in Somali in Sweden, they're like, if you're friends with a Somali person, they talk about tribe, cut them off. They're bad people. You know, because tribe is what divide our country. You know,
interesting.
because my dad was still a proud Somalian man.
Yeah.
Right? We could only speak Somali in the house because every time me and my siblings spoke Swedish, and my dad's like, in this house, when I pay rent, you gotta speak Somali, right?
Yeah.
So we hated it, and we had a tutor to come to us once a week to learn us how to read and write. But eventually, now as I got older, I'm like, I'm glad he did that, even though we didn't like it as a kid, because now I can speak, write, and read. You know,
Yeah, because you speak Somali and Swedish and English.
English, yeah, I can read and write in all three.
Beautiful.
And I'm like, when I was a kid, I hated it. I was like, why do we fucking have to speak Somali? You know?
Right.
You know? But now I see Somali parents and their kids don't speak lick of Somali,
That's
and I'm
tough.
like, you're a bad parent. My dad was good. He was hard, but he was good.
Well, because I have actually a child on the way,
Yeah.
and that child will be half Iraqi, right? And so I want the child to know Arabic, but I also have to figure out.
Does she know?
I have to learn a little.
You-
Yeah.
Okay. So
She's
she can
fluent.
teach you.
So it's like, but the kid has to kind of hear a lot of it at home. So at least if she's yelling at me in Arabic, I think the kid will like pick it
Yeah.
up.
It's like, mom's mad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I lived in Sweden, right, with my crazy siblings. See, my older brother was a bully, which is normal in an African household, right?
Okay.
I'm no victim. I did the same to my little brothers.
Yeah.
You know, this life is circle, you know?
It's a passage, yeah.
Circle. Yeah. So my brother was fucking me up, toughing me up, and don't be.
So
a
you're the
bitch.
second child of 12.
No, third.
Third of
my
child.
big sister, but I thought I was bigger than her because she
Fucking
was older
9
than
more
me.
after you. Holy
Yeah.
hell. So you got to bully 9 people. Only 2 people bullied you.
I bullied mostly 3 boys that was under me, because
so it's like a ranking system.
Yeah. If you're under you, they have little muscle. You can fuck them up.
So you can go 2 down, but that's it. After that.
But this is what I think. I was fighting my big brother every day.
Yeah.
And I was losing, and I was not giving up.
Yeah.
And
so
then-
like 1 up, 2 down.
Yeah, and then my big brother, not just was he stronger and bully, he was also smarter than us.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So he always like set me up, and then my dad would see me throwing hands. My dad was like, hey, in our culture, you don't fight somebody older. Respect him. And we're like, he's an asshole. You didn't see what he did. And my dad's like, hey, watch your language.
Right.
I talk to him like that. He's a big brother. And my brother's like, and I'm like, I'll fight him. I'll beat his ass. My dad's like, okay, if you want to fight him, you go fight him. I'm not going to save you. And I'm like, I want to fight him because I'm so mad, right? My dad's like, go ahead. And my brother just molly whooped me in front of my dad.
Oh, no.
And my dad's like, I told you.
That's how my mom was always with my older sister, so she would talk all this shit, and she knew that like my older sister she wasn't really bullying me, but she would always have the upper hand.
Okay.
But she was like, hey, just so you know, one day your brother will be bigger than you. So just be prepared. And when he is, I'm going to let him beat you up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was in because we watch mob movies and sports, right? Soccer and basketball.
Yeah.
And all the mob movies, me and my brothers.
Yeah.
So I thought, my sister, in the summertime, we're hanging outside. I don't think she should be on a block. She should go home.
This is in Sweden.
Yeah, in Sweden. So my sister be hanging with her friends, having a good time. And I walk up, my little homies. We younger than them, by the way. And I'll go, hey, go home. It's 9 p.m. And she goes, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm like, you're a woman,
Oh,
This is how toxic I was. I was raised in a toxic house, right? And I'm like fucking 13. And she's
Yeah,
like,
you don't know shit.
Yeah. And my sister's like, get the fuck out of here. I'll beat your ass. I'm older than you. You don't talk to me. And I'm like, listen, you're a woman. I know how one man wants. And I'm 12. I tell her my sister. And she's like, I'll fuck you up. And I was like, I don't want to embarrass you in front of her, but when you get home, I'm slapping the shit out of you. Right? And my
Sibling,
sister
dude.
was like, who the fuck are you talking to? I mean, she gets
The other kids are like, wait, what's happening here?
Yeah. And then my toxic little homies be like, "You're right, man. You're the man." You know, they're as toxic as me.
Right.
Your little crews, like,
Turkish,
Iraq. You had like little bully squads. You had like little like fucking like by age group. I swear.
Yeah. Because my homies, that was one was from Congo, one from Turkey, one from Iraq, right?
Dope.
So they're all as toxic as me because their culture is toxic.
Yeah.
You know, the way they're raised is toxic.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They're like man. You know.
Yeah.
And then we're watching the fucking Godfather, and we think we the shit.
You just like build it out for sure.
And then we're playing basketball and soccer. And we like fighting all the time.
Yeah. Dude, what's up with like cultures that eat like spicy foods? Like, you know what I mean? Like I swear, there's something to them because like the women, they're like, you know, like times they're like, we're all kind of crazy. You know, they like Latinos, the Africans, the Somalis, the Nigerians. Everybody
Right.
eats like spicy foods. They're like a little bit crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something to that. But
I swear.
you know what's
Indians.
funny? And my mom and my sisters, they used to call me a bitch.
Mm.
And I was like, why? Because I don't like spicy. Because they used to cut little peppers into the rice.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was like, that's too much. I used to be like, oh, it's too much. And my mom's like, you're a bitch. And my sister's like, you're a fucking bitch, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, they're like, this is party culture. I'm like, I don't like sweating while I'm eating.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. My mom was
So
always
I
eating like spicy
never
ass food
into
too.
it. Yeah. I think all Africans loved it, except I was the soft guy in my family.
So you don't like spicy food to this day?
I like spicy, but I don't like the way they do it. They go overboard.
I don't
Next
like
level.
it when there is always that. And I mean, I grew up in like Buffalo Wild Wings culture in Minnesota. Like that's where we like explore spice.
So white.
Yeah. No, I mean, but for real, right? It's like that's where we like you would do like the spice challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would always have like my friends. I had like this one like where was he? I think he was Filipino.
Yeah.
And he would eat the spiciest thing there all the time. And all my other buddies would try to like level up and eat it with him. And I was, don't worry, get me wrong, I was that too. But I don't know why people like that level.
Right.
No,
It's not even enjoyable.
The spicy level of Buffalo
3
Wild Wings is
levels
actually
down-
like crazy. Yeah.
3 to 2 levels
I
down from
couldn't
the
do that.
spiciest is always the best flavor.
Yeah.
I remember I came to America in college. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings. They're like, "Oh, you're African. You can do the spicy." I'm like, "No." They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I was always the bitch in my family when it comes to spicy."
Atomic is nuts. Like I tried it. Like the one time they gave me like one atomic wing, and I was like, "Holy hell! Like this is crazy."
I didn't even try that one. I was too scared.
Yeah.
I was-
Like you said, like it's like 2 levels down. It's like
Yeah.
enjoyable somewhat.
Yeah,
Like it's hot, but like kind of good. But yeah, it gets nuts. You know what I mean? Like I tried like Patsy Ill. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And then like it's like, damn, this is like way too fucking.
Yeah. I did not like that.
Yeah.
But then you know, in Sweden, I played soccer in the beginning, of course. But then everybody started playing soccer. So I was
You look like a
I want to
soccer
be
player.
different. I know I look like it, but I play basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Okay.
So I was hooper, right? So I played basketball growing up, and then because I was tall and skinny.
Yep.
So I could also
Shock.
touch the backboard, and it was like, oh shit!
Yeah.
You get rebounds and blocks, and I was blocking everybody and shit.
Yeah.
But then I didn't grow much more, and then when I was in high school, I was like, I gotta learn how to shoot, so I started dribbling and shooting, and then I became a good basketball player in high school because my team was the best team in Sweden.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, we won everything. But
Is it
also,
because you have all the immigrants, or
yeah, I was about to say we had 13 players on our team. 12 were black.
Yeah.
One Swedish kid.
That usually does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people
I
from
mean,
Congo.
that's called the NBA.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
we had 2 Nigerians.
And the NFL.
We had two Nigerians. One named Kingsley. He looked like Dwight Howard, like
Yeah.
shoulders, everything.
Yeah.
And we had like a few Congolese guys that was super good. You know.
Oh, that's sick.
We had like all kinds of shit, and then I was just tall and lanky.
I mean, when
Yeah.
you have all you're playing these Swedish teams, and everybody on your team is straight out of
Yeah,
Africa.
some teams.
It's like, dude, you're gonna fuck these guys
but
up.
some
There's
teams,
lineage.
right. But some teams had black people, but they didn't have as many as us.
For sure, yeah.
Also, our school, everybody want to go to. It
There's
was
a
like
difference.
trying to literally like, hey, tell their family, can we move close to that school so we go to
That's
that school?
cool because it was like a good school and it was good at sports.
No,
and
it
everything.
was just good at sports.
Just good at sports, I got it.
Yeah.
And also, it was like artsy school. It wasn't
Yeah.
a lot of artsy schools back then. So it was like good for if you're an artist.
Oh, that's cool.
And everybody called them gay, you know, but everybody was toxic back then.
Right?
Let's be serious, yeah.
It's so funny when. Oh, yeah, you got it.
You know, I was just saying, there's something about like black people in sports because like like just in general, like
You think?
I swear because
We
like
just
you
watched
did-
the draft last night, dude.
Yeah, black. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we saw a white guy even get drafted last night. I swear.
Right.
But
Then
like
you
I was
lied,
drafted
dude.
a few guys.
yeah, like a few here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but like even like when I was in high school, because like I feel the same way. Like because of my body type, I wrestled because like I'm not playing basketball.
Right.
But like use it. But like the schools that we wrestled, it depends, man. Like there's something about like this school, that school, Bishop Vermont, this school, whatever. But then there's Long Beach Poly. and Long Beach Poly. Not only their basketball team, their football team, but they got a fucking wrestling team, all black, and they will fuck you.
Which high school
myself included.
Where'd you go?
I went to Ayala High School in Chino Hill. So it's like a little white, a little Asian, a little Latino, a little, but like few black, right? But like Long Beach Poly. Black, you know what I'm saying?
Long Beach, it's the hood.
Yeah.
They'll fuck you up, like and they're like, they got like, cool. I want to join their team,
Bro, my ex, she played volleyball, right? And her brothers played football and basketball. And she told me, she's from Long Beach. She told me, Poly was the hardest school to go against.
Yeah, and almost on every sport, dude. My sister, I think she played volleyball too. She's like, fuck, Long Beach Poly.
Yeah, my ex played volleyball, and she's like, fucking Poly was the killing us. I was like,
on everything.
Sport, she goes in everything, yeah.
Literally in everything. Yeah. It's crazy, but yeah, it's just black people. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So how do you transition from you're in Sweden, you're playing basketball in high school? Do you go to university and stuff?
No, so one of my older friends in high school came to Seattle to go to college. And then he was like, Mo, you should come here. You can definitely get on the team. You could probably start. And I was like, I would love to. But that summer, I went to go visit my homie Andreas in Miami.
Oh, sick.
And I was there for like a month, and I loved it. And I was like, yo, what school do you go to? He goes, I go to Broadway Community College. I was like, yo, can I hoop? They got basketball. He goes, yeah. So I went to go talk to the coach. This is like beginning of August. I was like, can I come? He goes, yeah, you're good enough. You could come into my school. He goes, go apply online, though. So I applied. And then I got an email saying, oh, you applied too late. Can you come in January? And I was like, okay, cool. So I go back to Sweden, right, like August 5th or 6th. And then I'm like sitting at home, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be in Sweden. It's about to be cold and shit.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my boy, Ambo. He lives in Seattle. He goes to college. I was like, yo, I was trying to go to school in Miami, but I can't go. And he was like, why don't you come to school in over here? I'm like, I don't want to go to Seattle when it's raining there. He goes, no. He goes, you don't have to wait till January. We start in September here, September 24th. Apply tonight and see. I applied, and the next day they were like, you accepted.
So you're like, I'm just going.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna get the fuck out. And my homie was there already, right? So I got on a plane. I got 16, and then I met my boy, and I was like, yo, can you introduce me to the coach? So I'm trying to be walk on, and I did the walk on. And the coach was like, I gotta watch you for like a week to see if you're good. And then after practice, he was like, you're on a team. You're good enough. I was like, yeah, I came from the best schooling in Sweden.
Right. Yeah. So actually, your skills did like level up even in the U.S.
Yeah, in the community college.
Because I wouldn't really know that. We'd always have like players from like smaller divisions try to like transfer into like our larger division in high school, and it was like, dude, I know you're the best on your team, but like you suck here.
Yeah, sometimes it wasn't the
No, I was
That's
good.
cool that it was the same.
No, it was, but also it's community college. It's not like Division I.
Sure.
Right.
So it's a little bit less. And they're like, oh, 6'3", that's a good shooting guard. Because I was shooting guard at that point.
Right.
But Division I would be too small to be a shooting guard.
Isn't that nuts? But like, yeah.
And then the whole first year, so I'm excited. I'm there. And I'm like, Seattle weather sucks. It rains and shit.
Yeah. Seattle, I mean, the city sucks.
But I got to play like 5 minutes, 10 minutes a game, come off the bench. And I had to work my ass off because I didn't do preseason because I was in Miami chilling. So I had to like work my ass off. So by January, they started playing me like 10 minutes a game. And I was getting buckets. Like I was just scoring.
Yeah.
And then the school fans, the people that come to our games, the schoolmates, they were like, made signs. They're like, put in Mo. We want Mo. Because I was like instant offense from the bench,
Yeah.
So they were loving me, right? And the game be tight. And then I'm like, coach, they want me in. He goes, shut the fuck up. You're not getting in the game right now.
Are you fucking Seattle's Taco Fall?
Yeah. Right. I was.
We're like the African. Bring him in.
Yeah. And the coach was like, nah. Right?
Mo.
Right. And then I guess we had a point guard that he was recruited by a coach, and he was hella selfish. So, and then I guess like at the end of the season, there was a game. We were down by like 10, and it's like 5 minutes left, and I came in. I hit like 2 threes.
Nice.
And then it was like last play, 20 seconds. We have the ball. We down by 2.
But you've brought them back.
Yeah. And then the point guard has the ball, right? And the coach is like, hey, you're gonna drive and get double, kick it to Mo or kick it to Terrence. This motherfucker, the step back. This wasn't step back. And he sucks at shooting. Step back 3 and misses. And I'm like, what the fuck are
But
you
he's
doing?
kind of your star player.
Yeah.
Right?
But the coach threw the whole play. He's going to get double.
Of course they're going to double
he's
kick
gonna-
kick it
'cause
out.
He's a good at driving.
You're the random
He's
guy
a-
who just got off the
yeah,
bench.
he's
Why
good
not?
at taking to the hole, but he's like, do a step back. I'm like, what are you doing? So after the game, I was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? He's like, shut the fuck up. It's my team. Right?
Oh, shit.
So we got into it, and then the coach was like, you shouldn't be confronting him like that. I'm like, bro, I'm the hottest player right now. You kidding me?
Yeah.
And this guy, like, he had instructions to pass the ball, and he's still trying to shoot fadeaway over two guys.
Right.
You know, and then the coach was like, your time's coming next year. And then next year, preseason, I was killing. And then he's like, oh, you're gonna be a starter this year. And I start starting playing, and I start playing good. And then I think game 5, I overslept. I missed the shoot around.
Oh, no.
And then he was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, you're not playing today, right? I
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool. I was in the bench the whole game. They were like, let him mow. And they was like, no, right? And then next week, I was like, I get it. You know why I don't play. Next week, I didn't play again. 0 minutes. I'm like, this is weird. And the next game, I didn't play. And that's when I was like, what the fuck's going on? And he's like, oh, you got to learn your lesson. I was like, I know my lesson. I fucked up. I'm not a dummy.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you're not gonna play. And I think he's going through something. He's trying to take it out. I mean, I was like, fuck you. And he's like, fuck you, get out of my team. And I threw my jersey. I left.
Damn, you Antonio Brown it? Damn.
yeah, I did it, bro.
Like, I don't get enough minutes. Fuck it. Where's my jersey?
Yeah. And then I walked base down where everyone's like, Mo.
You literally
Oh,
Antonio
so it
Brown
was in the mid game.
Yeah.
Dude, you-
Oh, that's sick. Do you
Fully
have,
Antonio
You
Brown
don't
it.
have video of this?
I don't know. I think he has some pictures.
Oh my
I
god.
did it before Antonio Brown. He did Mowhaa.
Yeah, Antonio Brown.
And so that's your retirement party right there.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
more
yeah,
basketball after that.
yeah.
Right. No, and then I transferred to Washington State, right? Go Cougs. And I was trying to go get on the team, and I couldn't make the team. And then we started playing intramural basketball.
Yep.
And then like whoever kills at the intramural gets opportunity for the Division I team.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but we had like good in the middle. We had like 5 basketball courts and stats and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing good in that. And then it was one game I had 55 points.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm definitely getting on the team next year, right? And then it was summer, and all I do was party because we were like, Washington State's ranked number 3 at party
Yeah,
school.
they're pretty. Yeah.
Like Arizona State, University of Arizona, and then Washington State. So all I did was party. The next year, I was like trying to walk on, and they're like, nah. And then I saw our shooting
Because
guards.
you weren't good enough, or because they saw you partying or something.
I wasn't in shape.
Right.
And then what do you call it? They were like, we're gonna have to cut all you guys that did the tryout, and I was one of them, right? And then I was like watching the practice, right? I was like, oh, all the shooting guards are 6'7", 6'6".
Yeah.
I'm like,
this is a real D1 program.
I'm like, I would not score on those guys, you know, because
yeah.
they're not just scoring and fast. They're like fucking athletic and they play defense, you know.
Washington State's actually pretty
That's
good.
NBA level.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Division One.
It's so crazy because I remember seeing the guys that would be like D1 come back home for high school and stuff, and just them shooting around, and that caliber of play. You realize that when they're practicing, they don't miss.
Yes.
And so in the
Yes,
game, obviously,
yes.
they might only have 12 points or something like that,
Yeah.
and only go like 30%.
Right.
Yeah.
But in practice, it's like, dude,
It's like
this
make,
guy
make.
does not miss, and
Bro.
he was doing that all summer
Right.
while you're fucking off.
Right,
Yeah,
right. And
yeah.
then they also already recruited. They're bigger than me.
Yeah.
If I got on the team, I was never gonna see the floor, right?
Yeah.
And then I was
Did
like,
you
no.
have NBA dreams?
I
or-
did.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, of course. When I played basketball all my life, I watched in high school and middle school. My coach used to give me VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Thank God my dad had those. And I used to watch Michael Jordan like playoffs run in
Yeah.
96,
95, yeah, 95, yeah.
97,
Yeah.
90, all 3 of them. And I was like, wow. And I watched all the Jordan documentaries. I was so into basketball, right?
Yeah.
But I remember in college, I was telling somebody, I was like, the only thing I have in common with Steph Curry is my height, 6'3".
Yeah.
You know, I can
Yeah.
shoot, blah, blah. Like you said.
But isn't that crazy how that's considered like small?
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry's considered small, 6'3", like.
But he's the lights out, bro. Like you said, shooting. Like when I was in community college, we had like shoot arounds, right?
Yeah.
We had like competition after practice. I used to window. I'm hit 25 threes in a row, and I was like, I'm good. And you see Division I guys hit 100 threes in a row. You're like, okay, I'm good, but these guys are professional.
Yeah.
They're professional athletes. You know?
And it's tough if you haven't grown up in like the same culture of these
Yeah.
guys that know what it takes or have had the right coach around them to be like, you have to transcend everything that you thought.
Yeah, and then in Sweden, you know, when you're a shooter, they're like, oh, if you shoot 2 threes, 3, 4 threes is good. In America, they're like, you're a star, you can shoot as much as you want. That you don't get that mentality in Sweden, you know. They're like,
Yeah.
as long as we win, you know, play with
So
the team.
you're a comedian since birth. Like, cause you're fucking off. You got 12 kids in the family.
Oh yeah.
You're the
my
comedic guy in the family.
household, we were always talking shit. Nobody thought I was funny because I was roasting them, but they roasted me back.
Right. So you get that you're learning.
So when does it go from like you're like not making the Washington State team, but you're probably still goofing off and being a goofy guy?
Oh yeah.
When does this like comedic bug like show up?
Oh, so when I was a kid, right? We go back about comedy career too. When I was in Sweden, my dad used to always put on Raw and Delirious. And we used to laugh. And we watched it over and over again. Yeah. And then I asked, my brother had like this series when he had like Comic View and Def Jam. He used to burn them, or his friend, and he used to be like, "Yo, you want to watch this?"
Yeah.
We used to laugh our asses off. Yeah. Right. And it's crazy. Some of those guys I used to watch in Def Jam and Comic View now, I know them, I see them, in LA.
Is that incredible? Like,
legends.
You get to meet them.
50, 40 years old now,
Yeah.
Legends. But then I always loved comedy. So when I came to when I was in high school, I also discovered like Joe Rogan podcast and some comic podcasts.
Yep.
And when I was in Seattle, I remember I saw Mike Epps. He came to the stand. We bought tickets. Me and my friends. We wanted to go see him. Yeah. When I moved to LA, I couldn't believe I can go to the Laugh Factory and see all my favorite comics. I go to the comic store, see Bill Burr and Neil Brennan and all
like
this.
4 or 5 of them in the same night.
6, 7. I couldn't believe it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, so what I did is I always take dates to this comedy clubs. And then if the bitch couldn't last the whole show, I was like, I can't fuck with you.
That's great.
That's how I knew I love comedy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I always fucking watched comedy, and I couldn't believe it. And then I started acting, of course, living in LA.
Yep.
And then
how long ago did you start acting?
maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And then I liked it, but it was hard. I'm like, I'll take a class or whatever. Yeah. And then self-submit and all that bullshit. And because I was like, now my athletic career is over. My party time is over, because when I came to LA, all I did was party for 3 years, right?
Yeah. So once you graduate college, you immediately moved down here?
I didn't even graduate college. So in my 3rd year in Sweden, when they give you grants to go to college, right? You got to be above 2.7 GPA. So my GPA was always good, like 3 or whatever, right? At first year, actually, in community college, it was bad. It was like 1.9. But then next semester, I studied and I went up to like 3 point something.
Yeah, because you're like, you're literally your career.
And then I was good, right, because I didn't want to go home in Sweden in the first year, right?
Yeah.
And then in the 3rd year, I started partying in Washington. I've been on the school team. My shit dropped from 3.2 to like 2.6. It's about below 2.7, and they cut my finances.
Oh shit!
And I didn't know, so I applied for the next semester, and they were like, "We got no money for you." And I call them, they're like, "You should drop, dude. Go home." Oh god. So at that moment,
so Sweden's paying for your college at that point?
Yeah. They
cool.
If you're Swedish, they pay for your college. It's high to pay taxes in Sweden, but you know what's great about Sweden? They take care of your college, your high school, your dental, your vision, your healthcare, everything.
And it didn't matter where you go. Like, you can go anywhere in the States, and they're like, "We'll pay."
I go to England. I could have got Oxford.
Wow, that's crazy.
If I knew I wasn't going to be an athlete, I would have gone to Oxford and studied acting.
Yeah.
In England.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay. But then at that moment, I realized not just that was I kicked out of school, I also became illegal.
Oh shit!
Because that's your green card qualifications.
No,
yeah.
Your visa's
your
gone.
visa only works
yeah.
if you in college.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, fuck. So I moved to Seattle. I went to community college. Yeah. And I stayed with my friends.
Because you're on like an H1 visa or something like that.
No, F1. It's like student visa.
Yeah.
F1.
Yeah, fuck off. That's what it is. So if you're not a good smart kid, you fuck off. Get out of the country. But I was like, I'm not leaving. So I was here illegally, right? I was staying with my friends. I was getting like odd jobs. I went to the Home Depot where all the Mexicans are standing in Seattle. And I was like trying to understand how to get a cash job. And I couldn't get picked up for 2 days. And then day 3, I talked to this black guy. I'm like, yo, why am I not getting picked up? Am I looking lanky or, He's like, no, because you don't know what the tactic is. And the Mexicans are not going to tell you because they think you're American.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, I've never seen anybody that wasn't Mexican.
Yeah. But in their head, they were like, pretty much, why are you here taking our jobs when you can get a regular job, asshole?
Yeah.
But they don't talk to me, so I can't tell them I'm not American,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so they were not telling me. So this black guy was like, you got to do this and this and this. And he's not black, he's like Cuban.
Yeah.
So he's like, so I started getting picked up, and I got like jobs for weeks doing like
outside Home Depot. Holy shit,
I'm
that's
getting like
grinding.
landscaping jobs. They're like, do you know how to do this? I'm like, yes, I know. And they're like, since you speak English, you can work for a week,
Sick.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and then after like a year or so, I was like, Seattle sucks, man. So I'm like,
yeah, Seattle sucks.
My friend lived in LA, so I moved to LA.
How old are you then? This time?
22. Maybe?
Okay.
So I moved to LA, right, and then my friend, I called him. I was like, yo, can I stay on your couch till I find a job? He goes, yeah, no problem. I get to LA at 4 a.m. North Hollywood. This guy, I come in and he opens the door. He goes, hey, I need $400 for you to stay on my couch. I'm like, why didn't you say that when I was on the way? He goes, tomorrow morning you need to have it. I was like, okay, cool. I'll go to sleep. This guy wakes me up 11 a.m. I got home 4 a.m., right?
Was he was a friend?
It's supposed to be my friend.
Yeah.
And he wakes me up and he goes, if you don't have the 400 right now, you got to leave. And I was like, let me go get the money, bro. What is wrong with you? Yeah. And I got mad. I was like, bro, why don't you say this if it's that important? When we talk for weeks,
And like, give me a time to breathe. It's been like literally, I've been here for like less than 12 hours. Like
less than 6 hours. I'm like, bro. And he's an asshole, right? Yeah. And then I knew, I was like, I paid him the money. Of course, I got some money. And then I was like, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I need cash jobs. Yeah. And this is the story I was telling you. So I'm walking around Hollywood Boulevard. I took the metro from North Hollywood to like Hollywood and Highland. Yep. And I'm walking around looking for like a dishwasher or whatever jobs, right? Illegals get. And I see these characters. They're making fucking fist over hand cash. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh shit, this could be a job I can do.
The characters on the Hollywood?
Yeah, Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah. So I'm watching them and I'm like, maybe I can do this job. Right? And I'm like, I always wanted to be in a fucking Marvel movie or DC movie. So I'm like, this could be.
I thought you were gonna go Michael Jordan because that Michael Jordan guy down there does look like he's making bucks,
bro. But this was before him. This was before he came. Yeah. He's like 3 years in or 4 years in. But I was like, fuck, man, I always wanted to be in Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
Now I'm on Hollywood.
Why not?
So I'm watching them, and I realized Superman makes most money. And Superman's the most popular guy. Sure. So I start following him, job shadowing him for 5 days.
Does he know you're following him?
No, I was about to say, you might call it stalking.
You were stalking him.
Yeah, I was stalking him. But
how far away are you from him?
I'm like, it's so busy, he doesn't know. I'm just watching him.
Dude,
so
he must have
I'm
thought
job
you were
shadowing.
I
should do this. I'm job shadowing him. I'm like job shadowing him. I'm like stalking him.
Now I'm trying to figure out who's watching me. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is like a distance away? And I'm like, who the fuck?
They would watch you for like 30 minutes and be like, yo, there's no money coming in.
Like, this is annoying.
But guess what? After 5 days, Superman walks behind Jimmy Kimmel building every day. So one day I followed him, and I was like, I got the balls to talk to him, right? I was like, I'm gonna ask him, how do you do this? How do you do this? I'm still a kid, right? I'm like, how do you do this? I want to do this. And I'm hoping he's a nice guy. So he sits down behind a dumpster on Jimmy Kimmel. Mm-hmm. He lights up a crack pipe. And now I'm so close because I'm not following from far. I'm too close.
Well, you're close enough to know it's a crack pipe.
Yeah. He lights a crack pipe, and I'm like, oh, sorry, Superman. Can I ask you a question? Because at this point, I'm like, I'm gonna go forward.
Did he already like inhale first?
No, he was like, as soon as he did.
Oh, now you're interrupting his crack.
Oops. I'm like too close. I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead.
Did he seem like a crackhead before this moment?
No.
Of course they don't seem like a crackhead.
But
crackheads. It's hard to not seem like a crackhead.
The guys on the boulevard, you know what I learned? They're all misfits, crackheads, homeless, crazy people, illegal like me.
Yeah, dude, of course. Have you ever got close to them and they're just like, wow, you know what I mean?
Right.
But that's a good homeless though. Like
it's not a bad homeless. Yeah.
But you know what though? So I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Superman, excuse me, can I ask you a question?" He goes, he takes a hit this time. He goes, "What do you want?" I go, "I have a question about being a character. Can you help me? I want to be a character." He goes, he lights the pipe again, right? Takes a hit and he goes, "You want to hit this?" I go, for a second I was like,
maybe
it would be cool to smoke with Superman.
Because you like the movies.
It would be cool to smoke crack with Superman.
For a second, right?
Holy shit.
And then I'm like, maybe this is how he flies. Because the 5 days I was shadowing him, he did not fly.
Yeah, like now we're flying, baby. Yeah.
So I go, no thanks, I don't do white people drugs. That's what came out of my mouth.
That's a real one.
Holy hell.
And he goes, he takes another hit and he goes, "What the fuck do you want, kid?" Yeah. I go, "I want to be a character on the boulevard. Can you help me? I noticed you're the best guy here. I respect you." And he goes, "I'll show you the ropes." I'm like, this guy's the nicest crackhead I ever met.
So you became Robin.
So at that moment, I said, "Thank you, crackhead." And he goes, "What'd you say?" Right? And he goes, "What'd you say?" And he puts his pipe down. I go, "Crackhead, funny, right?" He goes, "It's not funny. My name is Superman." He looks me dead in the ass. And I go, "Okay." Because I don't want to ruin my chance. So,
you just say cater.
Okay. And he goes, "Let's go." I'm like, "Where we going?" He goes, "We're going to the costume store to get you a costume."
He's like, now. Not tomorrow.
And I'm like, Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We go there. He goes, do you want to be Spider-Man? He pulls out a Spider-Man thing.
Sick.
And I'm like, no, I've done my research. There's 5 Spider-Man on the boulevard.
Yeah.
I do not want to be 6th one.
Sure.
He goes, what do you want to be? I go, I want to be Venom. There's no Venom there.
Sure.
He goes,
yeah.
He goes, and then he picks out this Venom costume with the fake muscles. And he goes, this one is good. It's the same brand I have. I'm like, yeah, you have fucking foam for muscles. I don't want that. I have actually natural muscles. You know, I don't need that. Even though I was skinny. And he goes, okay, pick one, motherfucker. And I picked one. We bought it $50. And I was like, this better be a good investment, right? He goes, now I'm going to show you the ropes. You're going to be with me step by step. I'm going to tell people to take pictures with you and me. And we can split the money. I'm like, oh my God, Crack Kent is the best guy ever.
Yeah.
And then we do that. At the end of the day, I'm like, thank you for today. He goes, we're done. This is like at 8 p.m. I'm like, thank you for that. I appreciate it. He goes, he pulls out a wad of money and he gives me like $70. And I was like, you have to do all that, man. I appreciate you showing me the ropes. He goes, no, you earned it. So he's an honorable crackhead, right? Nice guy.
How much money do you think he made that day?
He made like maybe 300 or something like that, you know?
Oh, okay.
But which is great.
Sure.
I was happy with
No,
making
that's a
70.
legitimate cut.
Yeah.
$70. I'm like, I'm very happy.
Especially him showing you the ropes. Yeah, sure.
And I didn't expect no money. I just wanted to learn. Yeah. And he goes, tomorrow, show up at noon. I show up noon next day. Guess what time he came? 3 p.m.
Yeah, he's crackhead.
Yeah.
Of course,
Crackhead, right?
Yeah.
So you just start going without
Yeah,
him.
I just started doing my thing, right? And he shows up. He goes, "Sorry, man, long day." Like he just woke up from a crack smoke or something. I'm like, "No worries, Superman, whatever." And I call it Superman because I don't want to ask his name.
Yeah.
Right? He's like, "Okay, let's do this," and then we do it. He told me in the '80s he was the last guy that got. It was Christopher Reeves or him to get the role of Superman, and he lost to Christopher Reeves.
Oh no!
I was
dude.
like,
He's been stuck in that role.
That's how he fell
Holy
to
hell.
become homeless and all that. But I'm like, Christopher Reeves, he's never changed. And he goes, but you know what? Not a bad gig. I have people come visit me every year that's seen me here before. And Jimmy Kimmel, I've been on it 20 times, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's such a dope thing. But in my head, I'm like, that's sad, right?
Yeah.
That's
But
embarrassing.
I'm also
what you're
happy because he's a nice guy. He's my first friend.
Yeah.
You know, my fake ass friend didn't charge me. You know?
saying.
And it's a Hollywood tragedy, and
Yeah.
you're just dealing with it. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, and you're still on the boulevard, like, okay,
Yeah.
like being sad on the boulevard is kind of crazy because like
Right.
so much happening and there's so many lights and you're just like, wow, it's like a real sober
Bro,
moment.
what, if you did for the whole day, you're like, God damn, this fucking concrete is hot.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible. Yeah.
But then he goes, tomorrow, this is day 3, he goes, you're on your own, kid. I go, thank you so much, Superman. He gives me like another money.
Yeah.
He cuts me out. And I was like, I appreciate it, man. He goes, yeah, you're on your own. You know what to do. I said, okay, cool. So day 3, I'm doing my thing. Taking pictures with kids. I see somebody walking up on me. It's the Joker. Full outfit. Makeup. Hair. Green and all that, color. He goes, hey, man, you can't be here, man. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? He goes, this is Hollywood and Highland. You got to go to Hollywood and Vine, dude. You got to earn your stripes. And I was like,
Because Hollywood High is prime.
prime
prime.
I'm not going to the Walking Dead of Hollywood. There's no tourism
but
over
there's like
there.
a mafia of like.
Now I'm learning it's turf war and shit, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, you got to get the fuck out of here if you know what's best for you. And he starts circling me. I'm like, hey, bro, get back off of me. I'm like, bro, I used to be a child soldier, dog.
Yeah.
You think I'm scared of you? You fucking Comic-Con character?
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
like,
you haven't seen what I've seen.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you one step
But also in that moment, you also are a comic con character as well.
Yeah.
So both of you are like, I'm gonna fuck
But,
you up.
but,
I'm
you know,
gonna
as
fuck
a
you up.
former athlete and Somalian,
No,
I'm
I
not
understand.
proud. I'm like, I'm
I
not going to let you, this guy
Yeah.
tell me what to do.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? And he's like, okay, stay here. You're going to regret it. And he walks away.
Whoa, and the Joker character, which is a little intimidating.
And by the way, this guy really thought he was the Joker.
Yeah.
Right? Because he
Of course. I mean,
he
you
was doing
fucking-
method acting.
it's what
He was
crack-
doing the Joker shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, Superman thought he was Superman. He
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
he
yeah.
like
They're
was
all,
gonna.
I
thought he
got
was
to
gonna
find
get
out
the
they're all
role.
maniacs, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like doing my thing, but I'm not doing it good because I'm like watching for him. If he's gonna come back with a hammer or some shit.
Yeah.
And then I see him talking to Fat Spider-Man and Dark Vader. You know.
Fat
By
Spider-Man.
the way, I thought that guy was called Dark Vader all my life.
Darth, yeah.
Yeah, Darth. Because
No,
I'm African, right? I'm Somalian.
No, literally, me too. I'll be
Yeah,
frank
yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it until like 8th grade. I was
So-
like,
Wait,
Darth.
Dark Vader?
Yeah,
thought
I call him
Darth
Dark Vader.
Because he's the only like black one. So I assume like only black ones. I assume it's like Dark Vader, like the only one that's like dark. And he's on the other side. Like, so you would assume
Easy mix up.
easy mix up.
Yeah. If you're international,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's Dark Vader. Yeah.
But he's now
thought it was
they're
black people
huddling.
on this-
Now
whatever.
they're huddling him
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Fat Spider-Man, and Dark Vader, right?
Oh, dude, that's like the fucking.
And he's pointing at me. I'm like,
Godfathers.
you could tell he's talking to me about me.
Yeah.
And I go, what the fuck? I'm about to get jumped by the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Now here comes Fat Spider-Man, and this is how I knew he's black. He goes, "Hey, homeboy, you better get your ass to Vine, like my boy Joker said." And I go, "Hey, listen to me, bro. I don't give a fuck what that bitch ass Joker said, or would you say Peter Porker?" Because he's bad. And he was like, "Oh man, you're gonna regret if you don't leave right now." And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Right? He leaves. He's like, "Wait right here. I'll be right back." I said, "Superman." I go, "Yo, Superman, these guys are trying to bully me, man. What the fuck is this turf war?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey man, I'm 60 years old. You gotta handle your problems, man."
What?
And I'm
he
like,
just ditches you.
Yeah, and I'm like, "I thought you were my friend, Superman." And he's
Right.
like, he's like, "Sorry, dude." And then my other homegirl is with him, Tinkerbell, right?
Tinkerbell.
And she hears
She's your
this.
homegirl already?
Yeah, she's
It's
my
three
homie.
three days.
Yeah, we've been friends. She's
Okay.
like, welcome. She was one of those nice people, like when you go to new school, like, "Hi, I'm Tinkerbell.
Sure,
nice
sure,
to
sure.
meet you."
But you're not hooking up with Tinkerbell.
No, she's little. She's hella small. Not because of that.
Go ahead.
No, but because she's like,
She's a little
not
person.
attractive.
All right.
She's a little
Not
Tinkerbell.
attractive.
Little Tinkerbell. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should actually like hook him up. I feel like you'd fuck with Tinkerbell.
She was an older lady too. I don't think you like her.
But she said she's not hot. You know, like
She's
not,
not
not,
attractive.
not
She's not
hot
attractive.
Tinkerbell. Like
Tinkerbell not hot.
no,
Tinkerbell
but
hot?
this girl wasn't attractive.
Anyway.
Sweet, because she introduced herself. She became my friend instantly. She goes,
Was she
"Hi,
old?
I'm Tinkerbell." Yeah, she's older.
Oh God.
Yeah, but she was nice. But she talked like Tinkerbell. She was like, la, 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 you know, it's like little company. But she was nice because she introduced herself. And at this point, when I'm talking to
Can't be
Superman,
an old, not hot Tinkerbell.
yeah, I'm talking to Superman, right? And she's there, and she hears this, and she goes, "Oh hell no, I'm not gonna stand for that. I'll fight with you." I go, "Tinkerbell, think happy thoughts and not scrappy thoughts." Because at this point, I'm like,
You're still playing into all this shit.
What is happening day 3 in Hollywood and Highland
"This
right
is
now?
crazy, right?"
Yeah.
And I go, because in my head, I'm like, she's a ride or die. I like her. She's a good
Yeah.
friend. She's not like Superman.
Tinkerbell doesn't fuck around.
But I did not want to get jumped and Tinkerbell get stomped out. You know what I mean?
By the Joker and Fat Spider-Man. Yeah.
Because those guys are bullies, right?
Yeah.
And she goes, "I don't like bullies." And I was like, "Tinkerbell, think happy thoughts, not scrappy thoughts. I got this, right?" And she goes, "I'll fight with you." I was like, "No, if you fight with me, I can't be your friend, you know?" And she's nerdy. She goes, "Okay, I'd rather be your friend." She walks away. And she does this. She's like,
Just go and make her money.
yeah. And I'm like, that was easy, right? And then next day, I'm standing by the wall. You know the H&M?
Yeah.
Hollywood and Vine?
Sure.
Up by Foot Locker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting my back on the wall because I'm like, I don't want niggas sneaking up on me.
Yeah.
Because I know them niggas beefing with me, right? And they said, you're going to find out. So I'm sitting there doing my thing. Right across the street, Spider-Man yells, "Hey, come down here." As an idiot, I follow him down the stairs to the subway. And right when I go down on the stairs, I see him walking, and right in front of him is the Joker laughing, running down the stairs.
Doing the Joker shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's when he hit me because of his laugh or so obnoxious. That's when he hit me. I'm like, why am I going into the trap?
Yeah.
And they're playing like the characters.
Yeah, they're playing the character for
that
you.
they like. Now they're like they have a journey to like we're gonna take out
Yeah,
Venom.
they're like,
my
Venom is
God.
the idiot that's not listening, right? So we're gonna take him out. So when he did that laugh, instead of thinking this guy's crazy or thinking this guy's really thinking something clicked in my head, I'm like, I'm just following through the trap. Am I a moron? So I start running up the stairs.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there. Yeah.
And I go to Boulevard, and Spider-Man comes around it. He comes up and he stands in front of me like 100 feet. He goes, "Why don't you come down here, tough guy?" And I was like, if you're gonna fight me here. At least there's cops in my head. I didn't tell him. I'm like, fight me here like a man.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, there's cops. There's other people.
You
If
have
I get
some
stomped
sort of-
out, if I get stomped out, people stop.
Yeah.
In the metro,
No.
they might have more homies down there. You know.
No, and it's also
Yeah.
someone can stop down. I'm just
They
like,
can push you
"Whoa,"
down.
like that. No,
They can just
a
grab
random.
you.
No, if it's a random person, be like, "I'm not involved."
And they
in
know
this.
where they're
Yeah,
taking you to. Like
Yeah.
they know like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is where you take.
And a
them.
random person is not gonna jump in when 4 guys are jumping me.
In the subway
Plus
station,
the crackhead
fuck
friends.
no.
Yeah,
Hell
you know?
no.
The metro, it is like there's no good Samaritan law in the metro.
Right.
But
And
on
if
Hollywood
you-
Boulevard, you would think there would be.
Maybe
cops.
because the tourists, they don't know.
The
They're
security-
from Wisconsin. They're just like, okay, maybe
No,
I
but
can
also
help Spider-Man.
security and cops.
Yeah,
Security
yeah,
and cops.
yeah.
You know.
Except it would be disgusting if everybody started taking pictures, be like, "Oh wow, look at this!
Look at this
this
fight!
skit,
All the,
this
the fucking
skit."
Marvel characters are fighting each other.
Bro, so I go up, right? I go, "Find me here.
That'd actually be kind of funny. But go
Find me
ahead.
here." And then he starts stretching like Spider-Man, the fat Spider-Man.
Dude, this is a movie.
I swear to God, this happened to me. And I go, for a second, I go, this might be actually an out of shape Spider-Man. He might fucking whoop my ass, right? Out there.
Yeah.
For a second, right?
Yeah.
And I go, and then next second, I thought, I gotta play the game. I gotta act like I'm Venom. So I start stretching. start jumping up and down, right?
And you should have been like the people down in Venice that are like, hey, we will fight, but like, hey, $50, put a bucket.
We should have, but this is
Yeah.
real beef. So I'm not even seeing nobody. But then I did see people hold their kids back because the kids go, when the kids come up the metro,
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, Spider-Man!" And the parents see that we are fighting,
Yeah.
and they pull the kids away.
Yeah, because they see your energy. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on there?
Because they don't know if it's a game
Yeah.
or if it's real.
Yeah, yeah. Or
And
you're like a crackhead. Yeah.
And one mom put her hand on the kid's face, right? She goes, "Don't watch this," because we're cursing each other while we're stretching.
Because you have a mask on, obviously, so
Yeah.
they can't see you. Yeah.
But my mask, I cut off here, so my hair is sticking out.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
Because in my head, I'm thinking, like a dummy, Venom had that thing coming out his mouth, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, if my hair comes out of my head.
Oh, dude, you're already too deep in. It's day 4, and you're
Yeah,
like
yeah,
already
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
Oh
way
my
past
god.
it.
Yeah. And you're already like
But I did
fighting
that
someone
day one. I
like
did that
weaving
day
and
one.
wobbing. Like, holy hell. Go ahead.
But now, this mom is holding their kid's eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, I want to see Spider-Man. And she goes, "No, don't watch." Because we're cursing each other. So they don't know if it's real. But they
Yeah.
don't want to take their kid, jump in there.
Yeah.
Because we're homeless people. These people can just hit the kid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So this mom is like holding the kid like this, and he's peeling her fingers off his head. And I'm like, I can't fucking pay attention. I gotta watch this guy, right? So I'm start jumping now like a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, I see the Joker and Darth Vader come up, and then they watch me. They just grill me, right? They're like for 30 seconds, and then they just walk away, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I see Superman like 100 feet that way. I go to him. I go, "Yo, Superman, what the fuck was that about? They're about to jump me. It's about to happen." And then they walked away. He goes, "Let me tell you something, son. They were bluffing. They do that to everybody, and you passed the test." I go, "What?" I was scared as shitless. I thought I was about to get my ass whooped. And he's like, "You don't look scared." I'm like, because I'm from a toxic culture. You always don't show no weakness.
Yeah.
You know, being African and athlete, you never show weakness. You never,
Yeah.
But I was scared on the inside.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "They do that with everybody." I'm like, "Why'd you tell me this Superman last time I told you?"
They didn't do it with Tinkerbell.
No, but they do that with the guys that's like
Sure,
competitive.
the
you
guys,
know?
yeah.
So less people is better for them.
Yeah.
And Tinkerbell might have backing from Superman.
And they all want to fuck Tinkerbell, so it's like
Probably.
serious,
So, and I go, "Superman, you could have told me this when I told you they about to jump me."
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, "We were gonna see what you were made of, kid."
Oh, stop.
I was
So
like-
he was like kind of in on it.
Yeah, he knew, but he wasn't gonna tell me. And I was like, "I'll tell you, my friend, crackhead."
I love it how everybody in the world always finds the smallest little hill and plays King of the Hill on it.
Dude,
Right.
I know. No, seriously.
Bro, I'm
Seriously.
like, I'm thinking I'm about to be in Hollywood. I get to play a character, like I'm in a Marvel movie
Yeah.
or something. Next thing you know, I'm in a turf war with some psychopaths, homeless,
Yeah.
crazy people, crackheads.
Everyone wants to play King of the Hill. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this is crazy. So after that, I still didn't trust these motherfuckers, right? Every day when I go there,
not. It's
every day,
over. You're all crazy.
every day when I go
You're not
there,
going to Baja
I
Grill,
watch
like-
them. I watch them, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the Baja Grill, Hollywood Boulevard, we used to go to the bathroom and change,
Yeah.
and then they used to call the cops on us.
Yeah. Of
They're like,
course.
"Get the fuck out!"
Yeah.
And one time, they didn't even warn me. I went upstairs. Nobody said nothing, right? I'm changing to my Venom outfit.
Yeah.
I hear. I open the door. I'm like, "What's going on?" And it's the cops. They're like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo, give me a warning next time." And then they said, lady standing behind them, like, works that fat lady, and she's like, "I'm sick and tired of you guys." I'm like, "I'm the
Yeah.
new guy. I didn't know this was like dangerous." Or
That fucking Baja Girl, like every time I have to take a piss in Hollywood Boulevard, like I even want to like buy a burrito and go piss in there, but it's like too much mess and it's gross. Like fuck that Baja Girl,
Right.
and it's gross for Mexican food anyway.
So every day when I see them, I was like ready, right?
Yep.
I even had a knife in my bag, but because I had backpack, you had no pants. So I put it in.
yeah.
But then I met this thick ass cat woman, gorgeous, thick, beautiful cat woman.
That's fun.
And I started talking to her, and we flirted and shit. And I was like, "Hey man, you want to go hang out at the bar after this?" And she goes, "Do you have a green card?" She has like French accent, African. And I was like, "No, I don't have a green card." She goes, "This pussy is worth a green card." And she started doing this. And I go,
And she's in the Catwoman outfit.
yeah, Catwoman outfit, and she's gorgeous. She had a fat ass. And I go, "Get the fuck out of here." I was a toxic boy. I'm like, "You pussy ain't worth the green card. You tripping, bitch." Right? She's like, "Fuck you." Right? She leaves. Let me tell you something. 3 months later, I'm doing my thing on the boulevard. Now, I'm not worried about those guys because they're not about their life. This girl walks
3
up to
months
me.
later.
Yeah, 3 months. This
So
girl
you're
walks
like
up
deep in it now.
Now
It's
you're
a
deep.
daily.
Yeah.
because I have no green card.
So how many days a week would you work?
Every day, like 6 days at least.
Wow.
And would you generally make $300 a day?
Yeah.
No, I make like 30 to like 150. It was good.
Okay.
It was good.
Sure.
30 to 150 bucks.
Like 30 some
day.
days, some days 100, some days 70, some days 80.
Oh shit! But so that's a grind.
It's
though.
really good.
So,
That's a grind, yeah.
But I noticed though, I hated being there for 8 hours because it's like so warm and everything.
Yeah.
but you'd make $30 in 8 hours.
Sometimes.
Oh
That's
shit!
brutal.
Yeah. But then some days I make like 150 in 8 hours. But
Still a fucking
So this girl walks up to
grind.
me. This girl walks up to me and I think she wants a picture, right? Gorgeous black girl. But I never saw her face because she had the Catwoman outfit on. And she goes, "Hey, Mowhaa." And I go, "Catwoman?" Because I recognize her voice. She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" She goes, "Good." I mean, "You want a picture?" She goes, "No, I just want to introduce you to my husband." She introduced me to this white guy that
Green
she
card.
married. And I'm like, "You got married?" She goes, "I told you this pussy's word green card," she says.
In front of her?
In front of him. And I'm like,
Oh.
I know what to say. I was speechless. So I go, "Touche, bitch. You were right." And I go, "You know what? You pussy, what's worth the green card? My dick is not worth shit. Cause I can barely get pussy." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I was like, "This is fucking insanity, right?" So I start going to the clubs. Now I'm getting more comfortable on the boulevard. So I go to the clubs, and it's $80 to get in. So I was like, I need to become a promoter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because that's like,
Yeah.
Now you're talking, that's potentially 3 days of work.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Bro, I tried to become promoter. Didn't work. I
How
talked
are
to-
you paying rent at that? How was it? How are you doing it?
from my boulevard and stuff? I was giving that
A
idiot
month,
$400.
Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Oh, so you are paying that guy the 400.
But I'm not
Got
talking
it.
to him because I'm like, "You a piece of shit."
But you're like
you know?
staying on his
Yeah,
couch.
Yeah.
Right.
What a
I'm talking to him.
grind.
Yeah, but then I talked to the promoter. I talked to these guys, and I was like, "Yo, I want to be a promoter." And they're like, "Where you from?" I'm like, "Seattle," because I'm not gonna tell them I'm illegal. And they're like, "How the fuck are you supposed to bring people if you're not from here?" And I go, "I'm a hustler, man." And they're like, "Nah." Right? And then the door guy saw me talking to the promoters every night. So I even lied to them. I was like, "Yo, man, I'm working now." And then they let me in, and the promoters like, "Hey, get that kid out." Right?
Yeah.
But eventually, I went to the strip club. They hang out on Mondays. I was like, "Yo, I need to become a promoter, man. Give me a shot." So they're like,
The body shop, Sins, where are you at?
the Sam Helsbro, that's where they hang out.
Okay.
But then I'll tell them-
Downtown?
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah.
Bad bitches. And I was like,
I
"Yo,"
never got in there, but
I was like, "Yo, I need this job. Give me a shot," right? And then, okay, Tuesday we have a meeting come through. So Tuesday I go to the meeting. They have this glass door with like a conference room. Everybody's sitting down. I get there early, so I sit down on one of the seats. They come in, they go, "Hey, what the fuck are you sitting there? Get outside." And I stand at the door. They go, "No, outside." And I was like, "Bro, you invited me to the meeting." They're like, "Yeah, you don't earn to sit here." I was like, "Okay, cool." So they go, "If you don't bring 15 bitches on Saturday night, you're fired. This is one shot you get." So what do? I'm on the boulevard all day anyway.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
start giving Instagram to girls, and I was like, "Come to the club. You get it for free."
Yeah.
First night, I brought 25 girls.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, "You're hired." And then next day, I was on a Tuesday, right? I'm standing outside in the conference room. They go, "Mowhaa, come in. Get up." And they said me, then let me sit. They go, "This fucking guy on his first day, he just moved to LA, got 25 bitches. You motherfuckers can't bring 25 bitches." He's like cursing out the promoters and shit. I was like, "Oh shit." They're like, "You're hired, kid. Your flat is $400 a night. And if you sell table, you get 10%. I'm like, "What?"
Game changer.
Game
So
changer.
now you're on the boulevard just sending people to the strip club.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Making
regular
way
club,
more money.
Regular club.
Yeah,
Regular
well,
club.
regular, yeah.
I was working at the supper club. I was working at the power, fucking, what's that called? Power, fuck. But you know, Project LA, Lure, Le Jardin,
Yep.
Warwick. I was working all of them because
Yeah.
the promotion I was working for, they do all the
Where
clubs.
all the clubs got it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I couldn't believe how much money I was making. And then on top of that, they give me bottles. So all my girls that I invite, I hook them up, right?
Yeah.
But after like being in the game for like a year, I noticed I can make money off these bottles.
Yeah.
So I start sending to my homies. I'm like, "Nigga, you want to sit at my table with 50 bitches? You got to buy one of my bottles." They're like, "How much?" I'm like, "Just give me 400. The bottle costs like $800 at the club.
Yeah.
So they give me cash. So I start making money and I quit being a character because I'm like, I'm making crazy money and I got to be at the club and I'm single. Get the fuck bitches. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Right.
What was the main club you'd work at? It was all of them, or was there one particular one that you would generally say like, "Oh, come to Warwick"?
No, mostly I was working at Last Supper Club.
Okay.
Before they closed.
Yeah.
You know, Drake made a song about that. He's going up
Yeah.
on a Tuesday
Yeah,
with
yeah.
McKernan.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't know that's Last Supper Club.
yeah,
Okay.
that was the one because that was the only Tuesday club open in LA and it was popping. And then what's it called? Playhouse. That's another club I was
Okay,
working at.
okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I was working mostly. And then I was working at Le Jardin and I was doing like Warwick when I had tables. And then I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
better. Year 2 and 3, I started getting like table clients.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great.
You know Eli then from Warwick.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I remember Eli. I was like, "Yo, man, you gonna give me commission if I send my clients?" I was talking to him. He's like, "Yeah, I got you."
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that was my crazy introduction to LA.
You fucking hustling. I mean, people. Fuck you. I ain't gonna lie. You hustle even more than me. But like people, move to LA and then like want to make it happen, and fuck it, you'll make it happen regardless.
I had no choice.
You got no fucking choice.
Because I'm like, if I don't get this cash,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be homeless.
Yeah. I'm not going back to fucking.
So
fat
you're hustling these clubs. You obviously have when's the like comedic things like click?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question? I have to pee real quick. Can you come back and repeat this question?
Sure.
Are you still recording, LJ? By the way. Yeah. Okay. So just put it by the mic, because I was gonna say we're back. I had to go pee real quick. It's funny how it's funny how like. You can make a story funny and it's 100% true, but what you do is you said you add punchlines, but like not even punchlines. You're just like having points where you just like kind of jab them with something, jab them, and you fucking give them your fucking final blow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And real stories people could connect. Like this story, I didn't even know it was funny because I was just telling my friend the story. Because the reason I told him is he asked me, he goes, hey, what's the first job you ever had in LA? Also tell me what's the most bizarre job. I go, that's the one in the same.
Both.
And then I told him the story and he was laughing. I'm like, what? And I had no punchlines then. I was just saying the story regular. And he's like, laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing so hard? He goes, bro, you got to talk about this on stage. It's so funny.
It's funny because when you were telling me this story, it kind of reminds me almost of Bert Kreischer's The Machine story.
Yeah.
In a weird way. And that's what's so cool about it is like, I love.
Because he went through it. I went through this.
And I love it where like media is at, where it's like, he was on Joe Rogan, and then they were like, yo, tell this story.
Yep.
And then he started to get good at it. And what we forget about is that it actually took Bert like a good like year to get the story right to make the machine that we know now. And then fast forward like almost a decade, and now it's going to be a movie.
It's going to be a fucking movie.
Insane.
And it looks good. I actually kind of want to see it.
I want to see it. I'm
Of
going to see it.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy? Same thing with me and my friends. Like, you got to talk about this on stage. And I was like, okay, I'll start talking about it. But it took me a while to get the punchlines. And now, this happened like 7 years ago when I moved to LA. But now, I finally start talking about it and I start making it on stage. It's been killing because it's such a true story. And a lot of people, not just they're laughing hard. I can see them holding their stomach. They're like, is this real? Even comics. And I'm like, yeah, it's real. They're like, it must be real because it's so detailed. I'm like, yeah, I'm just saying what I experienced.
Yeah, nobody can like creatively come up with that.
I'm not.
You can't come
by
up
the way,
with
there's
that.
other characters on the boulevard, and I'm not talking about it because we never had interaction.
Right.
We never had like more than what's up, you know? So I'm not trying to put in other comics.
Like I think of like a sitcom of a Boulevard character would be hilarious.
And by the way, hit my story.
That would be so
it'd be great.
And it could just literally be your experience.
Right.
Where it's like someone who just like
So,
got
one of
to
my friends
America.
said that.
like-
Just fucking like flexing about to fight someone across the street. You know what I mean?
One of my friends was like, "This is like a TV show," and I was
Literally,
like, "Oh, really? I didn't know." He goes, "You gotta write it like, and then copyright." I was like, so I started writing it and copyright it because I'm like,
Green
I
card
don't.
pussy, Catman. Like that's crazy.
But what was I gonna say?
So
Catwoman.
This story now, I've been doing it like the last 6 months on stage and stuff, and it's getting better. It's getting tighter. You know, when I do on stage, it's gonna sound different.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
of
it's
course.
tighter
Of course,
you know?
yeah.
well, yeah, you have to keep it tight, and
Yeah.
that's what I was even thinking about in my head is that's difficult
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get that story tight
Yeah.
enough because most like you're in the like plus 10-minute range now with in comedian like the comic where you're getting that time all the time on stage, but still that's difficult.
Right, it's very difficult, but now I'm getting the story funnier and funnier every week because I work on it once a week at least on stage, and then now I learned that like I did a show in San Diego, and usually when I do smaller shows, I throw it in the middle, and people's like, "Oh my God, is that real?" But when I did a show in San Diego, I did like 10 minutes, and then they're like, "Do like 10, 12 minutes," and I was killing and I got off, and they're like, "Oh man, the audience wanted more." I wanted more. I'm like, but you told me to do 10, 12 minutes. And he's like, no, you could have got more. I was like, he goes, do you have more comedy? I'm like, bro, I have a 10-minute story about being a character. And I have other stories coming to America, you know? And I was like, I could go forever. And in the same club, Mike Drop, shout out to Mike Drop, a comedy in San Diego, they called me a week later. They're like, yo, we'd love to have you back to Hellline.
That's amazing.
And come to 30.
Yeah, 30. And I was like, first I was like, I can't do an hour. I don't have that. They're like, because it takes years.
Oh, that's what they wanted, an hour?
No, they say Headline, and I thought they meant the hour.
Oh, but it
So I
really
was
means like 30.
I was like, I don't have an hour, because out of town usually it's an hour when you headline. And they're like, no. Do you have 20 and 30? I'm like, I have 30. They're like, come back and do 30. We're going to pay you. You were loved. People were asking about you. You were great. And I didn't even do this joke.
Yeah.
I was like, imagine once I do the 30 minutes, I throw this
You're
joke.
like, I'm
in
a
the middle.
murderess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's shout out to San Diego. The crowd was nice. They were so nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Bad.
And I'm
So
like,
how do you go from this story to comedy? Like, where does this next bridge
so
happen?
after this, I met this girl at the club that was gorgeous. We started
Are you like
dating.
falling in love all the time? Like,
No.
you're in
I was just a playboy. I was just fucking, you know.
yeah.
But then I met this girl. She was hot, and she was nice, and she was gorgeous, and she loved sports. I'm a sports fanatic, right?
Who's your team? You're a big soccer guy. though.
Miami Heat, Barcelona. I'm all sports. My favorite sport is
You have a football team?
yeah, Seahawks, because Seattle's my first city.
okay.
Seahawk. I'm a diehard Seahawk fan.
Oh, nice. Sorry.
This is Miami Heat. Yeah.
I was just looking at this.
So
Oh,
we're,
it's weed.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know.
I asked
like,
because we're doing,
And I got the lighter.
Yeah.
we're doing live shows at Barney's Beanery now.
Okay.
Live
Yes.
podcast.
Oh, nice.
It's called Purple Banter Live, and then when we play the Seahawks, the Vikings, we will bring you on.
Oh, please.
Or if the Eagles play the Seahawks.
I'm annoying sports fan. You see I do sports fans on my Instagram.
The show that I told you next week. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, nice, nice. That's gonna be dope. I would love to be on there.
Hell yeah.
But so I met this girl, right, and we started dating for like 6 months, and now I have my own apartment.
Yeah.
I'm making good money as a promoter.
Yeah.
And I wish I started comedy then, because all I do was fuck girls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then go to work Thursday till like
Did you make
Sunday.
what, $1,500 a weekend?
Yeah, I was making crazy money, and I have my own place, and I have a pool, and I was just inviting girls to my rooftop pool. It was easy, and I knew so many girls because I was a promoter.
Yeah.
And all the girls kind of fuck with me because I wasn't a creep or trying to fuck them at the club and tell them don't talk to guys. I was like, do what the fuck you want. You say my name at the door, I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
I even introduced them to like athletes, right?
But you're like a big, goofy, funny
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
That, like,
But they love me. They're like, you're so nice and you're goofy and you're funny. So when I invite them to my house, easy money. You know?
Dude, I'm listening intently. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Bro, and now I think I'm back to it because me and my girl. So I met this girl, right? We started hanging out. She come over to my place all the time, and she comes over all the time. And I'm like, you don't have to drive that far to come over all the time, you know? We just hang out once a week. She goes, no, I really like you. Hanging out with you, you're so funny, you're goofy.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, you're cool. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then afterwards, we started getting feelings. And I was like, listen, I got to tell you something. I'm transparent. I was like, I don't have papers. She goes, what do you mean? I was like, I'm here illegally. She goes, what? I was like, I cannot, work. I'm making cash. I work for corrupted fucking club owners. You know what I mean? They're all fucking piece of shit. Driving
Yeah,
Lambos.
of course.
Yeah, I had to fight
Like, you
them.
have to be in the gray money.
Yeah.
That's the only way it works.
Yeah, and then some of my bosses sometimes didn't pay me for months. And we were all mad, and we had meetings once a week, and we used to confront them. And they're
Kind of
like,
nothing you can do about it.
we confront them, and they're like, "What the fuck are you gonna do about it, big boy?" You know, they're like
Yeah,
So
assholes.
they actually hold that against you.
Yeah, what you got?
No, they'll do. People.
So
do that.
one
It's
day
crazy.
I lost it, right? I confronted one of my bosses. and I
Well,
was
because
like,
I mean, since your
I'm a-
basketball days,
yeah.
like sometimes you throw the jersey
yeah,
off during the
right.
game.
And one day I went to my boss, right? He's sitting on a couch like a fucking mobster. He has like homies. They're all strapped, right? He got a Lambo in the front.
These guys are real gangsters.
Yeah, they're real gangsters.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Bro, they're like drug dealers, but legally, right?
Or they sell drugs on top of that. Yeah.
But this part I'm illegal, so I go up to him. I bust in, first of all. He goes, hey, don't open my door like that. I'm like, hey, listen to me, bro. I go up to him. He's sitting down in this big ass couch. And I was like, you owe me $4,000, bro. I need that money, you piece of shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. I'm sick and tired of you. I'll slap the shit out of you, right? I'm
It's like the biggest club, one of the biggest club owners in LA.
yeah. And this guy's like, he started laughing. Like, this is like, you know how when mobsters get bullied,
Yeah.
there. He started laughing. And now these homies got up. They got up, right?
Yeah, because he does
They're
this
about
once
to
a
beat
week,
me up.
man.
They're about to beat me up.
Right.
He goes, like a fucking movie. He goes, sit down. He goes, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm like, I know who you are. End of the day, you're a man. I'm a man. I'm stronger than you. I'll fuck you up. And then I don't care what happens, right? And he goes, the balls on this kid. You know what? He opens his drawer, pulls out a fucking $100,000, and he comes, he goes, here's $5,000. And he goes, I love your fucking balls. You know, I've been doing this business 30 years. Nobody has ever had the balls to do that.
Dude, what? So you're getting all your big gigs from the Hollywood Boulevard to here. They're like, we fucking love
And then I walk out
Like you went like confrontation style, and they go like, "Damn, that guy's good." Like, holy shit.
And I was like, I'm scared at that moment. I'm like, but since I'm like, I'm sick and tired of these guys, you know,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
with us,
yeah.
our money, you know.
Yeah.
So
How
I go-
long did it take to break you? That you're like, dude, what the fuck?
No,
Take
it
you
took
a
like
year?
no,
Or
like
6
3 months. He
Okay.
owes me money for 3 months. So I go outside. The promoter's outside, right? They're like, "Did you get your money?" I showed him like 5 racks. They're like, you got your 5 racks. I'm like, only 4. They're like, what the fuck? He gave me the money. You talking shit to him like that? They're like, I'm like, yeah, but don't do that because only one guy can have boss. If you do it, you're gonna get beat out.
And you did it in a way that you're like, hey, just so you know, like I'm not a gangster, but I will fuck you up.
Yeah, I totally
like you're not about the life, but you know what it takes.
Yeah, I'm like, I can fight you.
Yeah,
I've been fighting my brother for 16 years. Right. And then I was like, don't do that.
You will get shot.
He's not gonna say it. This guy has the balls to give him money.
Mm-hmm. The second guy going in would get his ass whooped.
And they're like, I wasn't gonna do it. I'm like, no. I'm just saying, don't do it.
You're king of the hill though.
Yeah. But he let me drive his Lambo. He became like my homie. He's like, you can drive my car. Can you know how to drive?
Yeah.
I never drove a Lambo. I go, yeah, I know how to drive. And I'm like, you
stick shift?
Yeah,
the Lambos don't even come in stick shift, right?
It wasn't a stick shift.
It's so stupid.
But I go in the car, right? He goes, go get me coffee. Right? He gives me in the car. And I'm sitting in the car YouTubing how to drive a Lambo, right?
YouTubing how to drive a Lambo.
This is my life. My life is fucking crazy. Right?
Yeah, like YouTube. I don't know what the fuck's go ahead.
And guess who knocks on the window? Like this is like it's been 2 minutes.
Fucking Spider-Man.
Catwoman.
No,
Catwoman.
my boss. And he goes, and I go, he goes, roll on the window, motherfucker. I roll on the window. He goes, do you know how to drive a Lambo? I'm like, I know how to drive a Lambo. He goes, what took you so long? He's sitting in the car for 5 minutes. I'm like,
taking Instagram.
I'm like, can I leave? He goes, okay, leave now. If you don't, I'm taking you out and I'm fucking you up. And I knew how to drive. I was like, I better get this car moving. So I hit the gas and did the and it took off and I was like, holy shit. I pulled off the fucking Starbucks.
So you're just going to get him a coffee in his Lambo, yeah.
By the way, I don't have a license.
You can't get, because you get pulled over, you're going back to Sweden ASAP.
But I'm living the fast life, you know? Even though I'm not selling drugs, I didn't give a shit. I was just excited to drive a Lambo. Like I didn't get busted.
How in the life are you at that moment? Are you fully absorbed in that lifestyle?
Yeah, because all I'm doing is like fucking bitches, and then Thursday, Sunday, I'm working.
Yeah.
And all day I'm just hanging out, chilling, doing nothing.
The drug scene has to be crazy in that.
Yeah. And then I thought about it. Somebody was like, you know, in the club when you're there long, they're like, hey man, if anybody needs coca, I got this. I'm like, oh, whoa. I'm like, I cannot get caught with drugs.
Yeah.
I cannot get caught. Because if I get caught, it's not like I'm going to jail. I'm going to deported.
Yeah.
So you're not interested in all that.
I avoided all the drugs. So all the promoters knew that I'm not doing none of that.
Yeah.
So that keeps, when you're clean, but still have like the balls in that life, I imagine you excel quickly because you're dealing with, most people are addicts.
That's why my clientele went up, because all the clients that bought bottles from me, they're like, you're so professional, man. You're so good.
Right.
They're like, you're not even drinking the liquor from my table. Some promoters are scumbags. They just grab our bottles, you know?
And it's not that you don't want to, but you literally can't.
I know. I was like, literally, I was like, I'm a professional and I like to make more money.
Right.
Number 2, I don't want to, this is the only job I can have.
Right.
I don't want to go back to the boulevard making $30. No, you know what I mean?
And it's not like, and that's what I think a lot of people forget in those positions. And because of your reality was so fucking, in a weird way, dire at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
You're making good money, but like not drug money.
No.
Yeah.
Like in order to keep up that lifestyle, you would lose your
Everything.
dope ass apartment really quick because people are spending your rent on nightly.
Yeah.
All
Easy.
the time.
More.
Yeah.
5 grand. Some of my clients spent 10 grand.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And then, by the way, I was so good at my clientele was going up and I was so good at my job. My boss was like, hey kid, from now on, you get 15% of the table.
Nice.
Because he goes, you are fucking killing it. I was like, oh, thank you. You know?
So you could make more than $1,000 a night.
Bro, there was one night I made like, I was working at Penthouse Day Party. I made like $3,500 one night.
Jesus.
You know? Because I sold tables and I had my flat and all that. It was crazy. And I sold a bottle to one of my niggas. Like, here's Henny, dog. Just give me 5. Henny was like $8.50 at the club, you know? Right.
Holy shit.
So there's one night I made fucking $3,500. You know, it was crazy. So I knew all that can be gone if I get busted.
Your
with
life
drugs.
is a movie.
My life is wild, bro. It's real life.
Yeah.
And then I told my girl, listen, all this you see in my apartment is because I'm working at the club and it's cash. And if we're going to be serious, I want you, and we need to get married. And she goes, yeah, we've been dating for like a year. Yeah, why not? And then we did another year and we got married. It's great.
Nice.
And then
Do you get your green card immediately?
like a year later.
You know, his green card isn't it like straight up passport, right?
No. You get green card for 2 years when you're married because they want to find out you're not doing some fake shit, right?
Okay.
So you can't, if you got divorced within the first 2 years, you are done.
No, you could argue because your spouse could be abusive or whatever, right?
Okay.
But we were together for like 4 years, right? And I started acting then and all that. And And then what happened is we had to reapply my green card. After 2 years, you have to reapply to get the full green card.
Right.
And when you get the full green card, you can become citizen.
Right.
So we applied, and then pandemic happened.
Mm.
And then now it's been 3 years. I haven't got my second green card yet. And then me and my girl broke up because I found out she's cheating on me and shit. Which pissed me off because I'm like, I give up all this pussy for you. Yeah. Because I love you and you love me. And, and we had a great life.
Because you cared about her.
Yeah, we had a great life. We were traveling. We were doing fun things.
I don't think women understand, like, if you give up pussy for them. You know what I mean? Like they don't, you know, I gave up, you know.
No, but they're giving up more than you, though.
Yeah.
Like, guaranteed.
Oh, more than dick than they'll get.
Well, the amount of DMs
women,
that a girl gets compared to a guy.
Sure.
Especially my ex, if we both went out to fuck,
Yeah,
you get way more.
Yeah, I got it.
She get 9 out of 10 guys she talks to. I can talk to 10 girls and get maybe 1 or 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But my point is, she had my password, I had her password. We were like living together. We were doing great.
Yeah.
We were traveling together. We watched sports with me. She was great, you know.
Yeah.
But when I find out she's cheating, I'm like, why would the fuck you do that? First I asked her, what are you doing? And she's like, what? I'm like, are you doing anything behind my back? She's like, no. And she didn't notice that we lived together for so many years. I can tell when you do weird shit with your phone.
Of course.
course.
And we have each other's password.
It flashes,
you know?
I think. But whatever.
Is it on?
Yeah, I think so. I thought I saw the light.
Oh, hell no.
Never mind. No, not true. I thought I saw the light on. Whatever.
But yeah, like you would be able to tell because like the relationship would transition.
Right.
Like, wait,
It would be
what's
changing. You'd be like, what's happening? Yeah,
you could come in.
Hey,
What up? What up?
This is the curly-headed overlord. This is my wife
Curly-headed
here.
overlord. Hey.
She keeps
How
us
you
in
doing?
line.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Are you all still filming?
Yeah, we're still
Yeah.
going. You're fine.
Yeah.
So, but when I found out she cheated, I was like, "Why? What's going on?" She was like, "Nothing's going on." And but this is what happened. We trusted each other so much that I let her go, hang out with her friends, and all her friends were single and hoes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But they're all jealous of us because every time they come hang out, girl nights at my house, they're like,
Right.
"Oh man, I can't believe you're such a good man to our friend." And
You have a normal
yeah,
relationship.
they're like, we're so happy for our friend. She's happy, she's healthy, she's excited. You're such a good guy, right? Because they knew me for years too. But every time they went on vacation, my girl would come back. Me and my girl told each other everything, right? She would tell me, "This bitch, can you believe did this bitch, this bitch?" And I was like, "Your friends are hoes," you know? She goes, "Yeah, they are." She goes, "But they're fun. They have good heart," you know?
Sure.
I was like, "Cool." But I think eventually, after she kept going out with them, and our trust was so strong, she thought she could get away with some.
Yeah.
And then she didn't realize that the dynamic is not dynamic, but her habit is changing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we lived together for 4.5 years. Of course, I know if you're doing something weird.
It comes
shit.
off even whether they say it or not.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, you're not gonna tell me what's going on. I know you cheated. She goes, no, I'm not cheating. I'm like, who's Rashad? Because I checked her text with her sister and her cousin and her best friend, and she's talking about I had sex with this guy. I can't believe he's not texting me back. Not just did she cheat. She's mad the guy's not texting her back.
That's insane.
I'm like, are you fucking insane?
You're like,
I'm
you're-
paying bills and I'm like here doing.
And you're married to her.
Yeah,
like what?
we're
And she's
married.
like mad about some other guy not texting her back.
Married.
Wow.
And I was so mad, so I confronted her, and she's like, maybe we got married too soon. Maybe I wasn't ready for this. I'm like, but I told you can leave anytime. Just be honest.
She's probably like even like blaming like your green card, like
No,
like
no,
we
she didn't
rushed
say
into-
that.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just like, she goes, you know what? We were so in love, and we lived a great life, but I don't know if I was ready to settle down. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. You fucking
How old was
tripping?
she?
She's like late 20s.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think her friends convinced her, you gotta trust you. You can do whatever
Sure.
you want.
Yeah.
You know. But I think eventually she probably regrets it or something. But I'm like, but to me, that's a line you don't cross. You know.
Yeah.
It's a tough
I'm
one
a
to get back.
principal guy,
That's a
you
tough
know?
one to get back.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then after that, so after that, I was like, you know what? Now I have more time in my hands. Let me do open mic. My first open mic I ever did, I got so much laughs. And I couldn't believe it because I knew, listening to comedy podcasts all these years, I knew comedy takes a long
Wait,
time.
so this is now what, 2021, 2022?
2020.
2020, okay.
So I knew comedy's gonna take long because I've been listening to podcasts forever.
Yeah.
I knew it's gonna
Take a
and I knew my first joke's not gonna be great, but
Right.
it did great. And the laughs I got, I was like, I don't feel that with acting. The way I felt with comedy, I was like,
Yeah.
I always knew I loved comedy, but I didn't know I was gonna be a comic. In that moment, I was like, I gotta become a comic.
Yeah.
And then fucking pandemic, and then I had to wait, and then whatever, do all this, and then I started doing just. Oh, I bought it. So in the pandemic, 2020 September, I bought a speaker. No, my friend, I was living with the RV in Venice, He's a comic from Canada.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, I got a speaker. Do you want to go to the beach and do comedy? I'm like, yeah, let's go do
I
comedy.
mean, you've done the boardwalk for
Yeah.
3 years, right? It's
Yeah,
like
I
you're
go,
not,
look, right.
no
I'm like,
stage fright.
I'm like, let's go do it because there's no mics. So we start doing comedy on the boulevard, right? But this guy's not serious about comedy.
Yeah.
So next day he's like, let's go to Santa Monica. I'm like, we can't do it. We need permit. He goes, I don't care. Let's go to UCLA. And then every time we do it for like an hour or 30 minutes, he goes, I'm tired. I'm going to go home. I'm like, okay, go home. I'm going to keep doing it. He goes, no, I need my stuff. He was hugging his shit, right?
Oh.
So he's being an asshole. And then he was mad that every time I got on the mic, he can only do 5 minutes. And I can do an hour. Because what I do was I was talking to homeless people. I was roasting them.
Sure.
I was talking to regular people. I was making like commentary.
Yeah.
I was
You're doing
jokes.
crowd work
Yeah,
the whole
doing
time.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
But I can talk forever, right?
Right.
And he didn't like that. So he's like, I'm going to leave. So I'm going to take my shit, you know?
So he would just go up, do a bit,
Yeah.
and just be done.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't know what to do. And I made people stop. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, it's pandemic, bro. If you stop, I promise I'll make you laugh. Give me 30 seconds. And I had 30-second joke.
Right.
I had a minute joke.
Right.
Because I knew it was hard for people to stop.
Yeah.
So when they laugh at the 30 second, I do the minute joke.
Yeah.
They laugh at that. I'm like, give me one more. And they go, what do you need? I'm like, I don't need no money like everybody on the boulevard. I just want to tell you the joke.
Just need your time, yeah.
Yeah. So doing that, he started hugging the thing, right?
Yeah.
So what I did is I bought my own thing.
Right.
And I started doing 3 hours a day for 3 months. And
UCLA or
no, at the Venice.
Right.
I got in arguments with homeless people. Homeless people talk shit to me. One time I was doing shit at 3 p.m., right? Because I used to take the bus there. And then there's all tents behind me, right?
Yeah.
That's when there's a lot of tents. And this guy, I start doing comedy, like, hey, comedy, free comedy. And this guy goes, hey, man, I'm sleeping. Shut the fuck up. And I go, it's 3 p.m., get a job.
Yeah, like sleeping at 3 p.m. calm
He
down.
goes,
Yeah.
fuck you, I don't work. And I was like, I know.
I've seen you here every day.
Yeah.
And then one time I was just doing comedy, and it's empty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear somebody yelling at me, but I can hear voice, but I can't see them. They go, shut up, you suck. And I'm like, who's that? You go, fuck you. And I go, show your face. And this guy literally rises out of the fucking bushes in front of me, and he goes, fuck you, it's me. And I was like, what are you, a fucking bush, you fucking Bigfoot looking motherfucker? I started roasting him.
A bush. Oh my god.
But it was so much fun, right? And then after that, the mics opened up.
Yep.
And I started going to mics. And people were like, how are you so good on stage? I was like, I was dealing with homeless for 3 months.
Right.
I was practicing 3 hours
This is
every day.
easy.
I'm like, why are you watching Netflix? I was practicing every day.
Right.
3 hours, you know what I mean?
Right.
In the hardest environment.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen to you.
By the way, I didn't know it was hard because I'm such a young comic, right?
Right.
And I'm psycho. And I didn't know that was hard. Some comics that I knew, they were like, yo, can we come do your mic? I'm like, yeah. They go, is it $5 a minute? I'm like, no, it's free. Come through.
it's
So-
it's street mic.
Yeah.
There's no
so,
cost.
So the 5 homies that came to see me different times, they're like, oh, how long can I do? I'm like, do as much you want. I give them the mic, right? I sit down. And then they'll go, oh, shit, this is hard. After like 2-3 minutes or 5 minutes, they give me the mic. They go, how do you do this for 3 hours, dude?
Yeah.
I go, I don't know. I'm mental. They go, do you know how hard this is? I'm like, yeah, I'm new to comedy. I didn't know it was hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was hard, but I didn't think it was undoable.
That's also
You know?
that's also interesting. Like if you do something that's hard, like things become easy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
When I went to mics, it was easy.
yeah.
They were like,
yeah,
oh, you have
yeah.
stage presence. You could talk and you can do
Yeah.
crowd work. And
Yeah.
you so new. How you do that? I'm like,
Yeah.
I had no choice. I was doing it on the beach.
Right.
Yeah. Well, because you have the mentality, though, that's not about, I can't.
Right.
I can't left you
Yeah.
in Sweden
Yeah.
or maybe in Somalia.
I left it with your
You
brothers.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I left me
Like,
with
is
my
it-
brothers. Because in my household, if you couldn't, my big brother's like, you a pussy.
Yeah.
You're not a man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And all the movies we watch, Sick Ass, Scarface, and,
Right.
you know, it's all like, and also being an athlete also made you a little toxic.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose. You want to win
Yeah,
at every cost.
competitive.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
You
That's what
wanna
told me.
win at
That's
every-
what, that's, I had a moment like that in middle school. Like I didn't have brothers, but like I mean in middle school I basically did. And then I was in military school, and then yeah, like if you couldn't, like you're a pussy.
Military,
So,
yeah,
like,
military
so,
school.
So
yeah.
I'm like everything. I'm like very like blunt about it, like fucking like full force, like fuck you, like I'm fucking do it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you know, like,
That's
it
good though, 'cause
makes
you
me-
get shit done like
makes
that.
you like a fucking bulldog bite about everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get shit done like that. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, but-
Because you have no fear, and not having fear, you can become better. You
Yeah, it's a force that I need to like. You need to balance a little bit because it's a force with everything like women, everything. Like, fucking,
No, but that's why.
But like patience. You know what I mean? But like same force with though.
I feel like getting older, I also learn how to control it.
Yeah,
when it comes
balance.
to women, I'm way more gentle.
Yeah, I realize that. Like,
I'm not like I don't have to win the argument no more.
Sure.
I just realized that like 2 days ago. I was like, oh, you know.
No, Cam. It's still like setting.
No, it's still like the lesson is still like it's like getting at me. But like I just told him yesterday. I was like, maybe pissing women off actually isn't a good idea. Like I just told him. I was like, I just found that out.
Sometimes it's okay to piss them off if they're being assholes.
They're being assholes, but like at the same time, you know, like in general, you know what I mean. Like gotta know. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
But when I talk to women right now, even when I'm making jokes and goofing it, I do some dark jokes. And some of them I know it's not good. But it works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You'll learn like what. Like comedy has to be this place where like you know the line, and sometimes you jump over the line. But it's about how are you able to articulate yourself when you're over the line,
right?
And that's the real masterclass of it. That's where like a Dave Chappelle.
And I'm not there yet, but I'm learning it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's okay to jump over the line. And then they know I did 10 minutes of goofy shit. So if I jump over there.
And you have to learn what it feels like over there. Then it's because the next time you go over the line, you might go, ooh, I would maybe go over a little differently.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or go back at a certain point, whatever. And Bill Burr, he says it in his podcast a lot. He will go over the line on purpose just to see how he can come back.
To test the waters.
But that's skill that Bill Burr and you have. We can't do it. But Bill Burr likes to dig in a hole, he said, and then come out.
Right. But at the same time, it's skill. But like he's already a professional. He's still learning how to do that.
Right.
So like I mean, it takes time. Yeah.
Speaking about Bill Burr, I gotta tell you a story about Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle. But before that, when I was a club promoter, you know, I got invited to like events. I was invited to Drake's house at the Calabasas, the Grotto pool parties. And I remember one time I invited like 25 girls. This promoter guy hit me up, older guy. He goes, "Yo, in 2 hours, meet me in this garage. We're going to Drake's party. Bring 25 girls." And I DM'd a lot of girls, right? Like 50 girls.
30, that's an easy party to promote, right?
30, but look, no, it's easy as fuck. But I had 2 hours, right?
But
and in the 2 hours, they have to get ready and they have to drive and meet us in the garage so we can, you know. But I hit up 50 girls, 35 girls hit me up, and then 10 said, I'm not going to be ready in 2 hours. I go, fuck off. I don't care.
So 25 said,
Yeah. But then I got to 25 and I went to the garage, right? And we got in a van. We get to the house. At the door, my promoter friend wasn't there, but he introduced me to Drake's right-hand man, this black dude. So he's like, "Oh, Mowhaa, I've been expecting you. What's up, dog?" And he goes, "Every girl," and he has a guy with a bodyguard with like a bag. He goes, "Put your phones in there." All the girls put their phone in there, right?
Yeah.
And I go, and I put my phone out. And he goes, "Oh, you can keep your phone, dog. We trust you. We know you've been promoting a long time." Whatever.
Yeah.
And you might need your phone to deal with shit.
And guess what? As soon as he says that, I didn't know all the girls, right? Some of them brought their friends. This girl that I didn't know goes, "Why the fuck is he got to keep his phone? What's he so special about?" And I lost it. I go, "Bitch, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be at Drake's house. You piece of shit."
Oh, God.
I'm like, "You're done." Like now I'm taking executive position. I don't even know if I can. You know? I go, "You're done. You're not coming in, by the way. Give her her phone back." And then the guy just watching it. I'm like, I expect him to say, "Hey, Mo, relax," right?
Yeah, he should have.
I'm like, how do you dare you, bitch, to talk to me like that, right?
Yeah.
You're done. Fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Give her phone back. And he goes, "I don't know." I'm like, "Give her fucking phone back." And then she's like, "I don't want to live in." Her friend's like,
why are you on one so much right now?
because and her friend's like, "Mo, she didn't mean it that way, please." I'm like, "No, bitch.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn the hard way."
I felt that way a couple times. Yeah,
I looked at the guy, the Drake's homie, and he's like, "Mo, whatever you decide."
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
And then I made her
What is your
get
decision?
shuttled back to the fucking place. She goes, "I didn't even drive." I'm like, take your friend's car. I don't give a shit. You're not
Oh
coming
my
in.
gosh.
But then it gets wild. I go inside the party, right? All the girls are at the pool. Like, it's 300 girls probably.
Is it as cool as you would think?
It's cooler.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So they can't go upstairs unless they're picked. And it's a big patio, right?
I'm sorry. That's
They're in the pool.
That seems so sketch to me.
you pick if you don't. You fucking you pick if you don't get picked.
Drake
you
is Drake. Drake is Drake.
Right.
It's Drake.
Because you're like Tiffany Haddish in that one like bit right now. You're
Right.
like, I kind of have to like cater to this thing.
No,
Yeah.
but they're not even sending me to pick them. They have like boys, you know.
That's what I'm saying. You're like,
I'm partying.
I can't do anything about
They
that.
go. The guy was like, "Mo, you come upstairs. You can hang out at the pool. This bitch is gonna get naked in a while. When they get drunk, just do your thing, right?" And I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm gonna go upstairs." I go upstairs. I see Odell Beckham Jr. He shakes my hand. He introduced me to the homies, right? And I see Drake introduced me, and Drake's like, "Yo, I remember you, man." I was like, "What? Drake remembers me." It was crazy. And then Odell was like, "You smoke?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's hit this blunt." We smoking, standing in this patio, looking down at the pool, and this girls are fucking wild music playing, and he's drinking Hennessy through the bottle. And I was like, oh man, I got to hang out with the coolest quarterback, you know, and the fucking receiver, you know.
Yeah.
It was so dope, you know. And then that was that. That was fucking one of the coolest things. I've been at Trey Songz's house and Chris Brown's house and everything. Chris Brown, Karuchi, what's her name? His ex-girlfriend?
Karuchi Tran.
Karuchi.
Yeah.
You know how she was like, I can't believe he's cheating on me. When I went to his house party in Tarzana, he was picking girls to go have sex with while she was there. So she knew he was cheating. They had an open relationship. I'm like, why are you acting for the media there? You know, when she was, you know, when she came out, she's like, he's cheating on me. I'm like, I was there when he was fucking hoes.
In front of her.
Yeah.
Oh
their
my
house.
gosh.
You know,
That is crazy that like,
without him, she wouldn't be a TV star now.
but it's just so odd to see like where like real Hollywood is in these places where it's like even there's hierarchies inside the house.
Yeah.
And so there's always like levels to this stuff. And that's where I think it gets kind of like dark and corrupt like really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This level
There's
of
like big
power.
gray area there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And then
it
they
gets
did-
disgusting.
But they trusted me with my phone. I wasn't gonna take a picture of them doing
Sure.
cocaine. You know, athletes, for example.
Well, yeah,
I wasn't
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
snitch on the homies.
Of course.
You know? Because
Yeah.
they know I'm black. First of all, they assume black people are not gonna snitch, which is good. Also, I'm a man's man. I'm not gonna snitch. I want to come back and party with these guys.
Yeah. Like, why don't I have time for this? I want to party with the women. Yeah.
And even though I was a promoter, there was a lot of bad bitches at the club. There was no badder bitches in one spot than that. There was like 250 bitches. They were all bad. You know,
That, I
Right.
mean, it Drake's they
Yeah,
get the
it's
highest
exactly.
end of
Yeah.
the epsilon. Yeah.
Because when they're calling you as the promoter, hey, I need 25 people.
Yeah, and it wasn't
you're
the only
thinking
promoter.
of your
They had other-
1,000-person Rolodex, and you're saying, I am like going to the
Oh yeah, I'm going
narrowest
for the hot ones.
of the
I'm
narrow.
going for the hot ones.
The hottest ones. Yeah.
And the girl that was talking shit, my girl was like, "Can I bring my friend? She's with me." I go, "Send me a picture." It's so fucking fucked up in promotion. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I want to see if she's hot enough."
yeah.
She sent a picture. I'm like, "Okay, she's hot enough. She could come," but she's a dumbass, so she couldn't come eventually. You know?
Oh shit!
You know?
That was that girl that had to go home.
Yeah. So in the club, I remember when I invited girls, and they're like, "We only letting girls that's on your name that's hot." So when my homegirls came and they have like ugly friends, I used to be like, "I'm sorry, I don't think she can get in." The door guy
Oh,
decides.
my gosh.
And the door guy used to be like, "You're good, you're good. You not so much. Get out." And they're like, "That's fucking asshole. Mowhaa, can you allow this? Can you talk to this guy talking to my girl like that?" I'm like, "I told you, she could come in, but she's not gonna get in for free."
Right.
And I'm like, and I can't make the decision because he has a rule above me. Like he decides.
like you're just telling them
I'm
the
just
rules.
inviting you guys. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's
That's
crazy.
that's interesting too. When like even like women kind of get humbled a little bit. Like
Yeah,
they're
in
just-
LA only.
In LA only,
Yeah.
like that's actually such an interesting fly on the wall moment where they're just like, because they know they're getting in clubs most of the time,
Yeah,
like if anything, all the time, and then there's just one time they're like, "Sorry, you're an 8."
Yeah. No, they'd be like, "You good?" The door guy was brutal, right? He used to
Yeah.
be like, "You good? You good?" I don't know why you brought her, but she's not on the list.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean,
And the girl's like, "I'm on the list. She's not on the list." You go,
And you're like a Alabama 20, but you're a LA 8, and you're like, not.
well, what's tough about it is like everybody in that room has really had to fight to get there. Like a lot of the dudes, like you've literally had to fight your way in order to get into the space.
Musicians,
and you've
football
had to add
players.
value to
Right.
create that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Right.
And then like a person can come and say, "Hey, I'm just a friend of this person that knows you.
the person?
that's come to the club a
Right.
bunch
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've been cool." And so you're like, "This is the person that it works to come."
Right.
And they're like,
Right.
"Hey, can my friend come?" It's like, "Well, you haven't been necessarily like validated by me yet because
Yeah.
I know who my people are and this is a
Right.
big party."
Right.
And it's weird. I get how it happens though.
Right.
That's not to say it's not like
But I
fucked
also
up.
told the girls,
Yeah.
I think your friend is, because they sent pictures. I'm like, I think your friend is 8. She could probably get in. But the door guy decides.
Yeah.
Once you say my name.
Guy-
'Cause the
door
door
has
guy does
9
not
or-
work for me. He works for the club.
Yeah.
Right.
And the club have to uphold some certain bougie bullshit. LA. You know?
And they're mobsters.
Yeah.
Because in LA, there's
Because hot girls brings bigger tables.
Yeah. And
Right.
in LA, there's like, I would say there's like 1 through like 12s, not even 10s, because there's like a certain level of hot where it's just like, whoa.
You know,
Like,
And I remember when I was in the club for so long, I went to Vegas to party, right? I couldn't believe that every girl in Vegas get in.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is your standard? They go, they have pussy, don't they? I'm like, oh, we have different standards in LA.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
and same as in New York. When you go to like certain places like Soho, Manhattan, Chelsea, it's like 12s. Like,
Yeah.
and they're all, and you're just like,
But
whoa.
the rest of the country, even Vegas, I'm surprised. If you're a girl, you get in everywhere.
Well, Vegas
Yeah.
is way more open and
Yeah.
like it's the desert and it's like people come from all over the place.
Yeah.
But then like there's certain places like Miami, LA, New
LA,
York where there's like No.
Mostly Miami and LA, because in New York they have like a couple of spots.
if
a-
you
it's
go
a
in like
brutal
certain
food
spots,
chain.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
So what? So now where we're at in comedy,
Oh,
you-
so-
it's interesting to see like, so you've done the 3 hours on Venice. now you're starting to get clubs. You've done different like hostings and stuff.
I did mic hosting.
What's the real goal out of it? Where do you see yourself?
I just want to. I'm happy I finally find my passion, where is stand up.
Yeah.
I just want to do comedy, and start touring and doing stand up for a living. That's it.
Yeah.
Now my next level, I have potential to be doing bigger venues.
Yep.
But I've been so focused on getting good as possible and funny as possible,
Right.
because I know as soon as I get picked up on a TV show or a film, I'm gonna be able to go to Minnesota, London, Toronto,
It just kinda
Seattle,
goes, yeah.
San Diego, London,
Right.
Sweden, and sell out big venues,
Right.
and be one of the biggest comics. And I hope
Have
by
you
then-
gone home to Sweden yet with your comedy?
No, and now I did a podcast like a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling them the stories I just told you guys. I got like 300 followers from Sweden, and they're like, "When are you coming here? You're the most interesting man." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Really?"
Yeah.
They're like, "You need to come here, and we're gonna support you." And I was like, "I can't wait. I
Yeah.
want to go there." But I know Sweden, England, Toronto, DC, Minnesota, Seattle, San Diego, Portland is gonna support me because those are my people, and my people, you know, all immigrants support
Yeah.
their guy. And luckily, I have one thing on my side is it's not a lot of Somali comics or Swedish. There's zero Swedish comics
Yeah.
in LA.
Right.
So I have 2 countries that I can represent. Now my goal is just to be good as possible, get funny, and then hopefully Hollywood will give me a shot.
And what's so cool about the world that it is for real is that all of the chaos that you've had to go through to get to where you're at is truly what is celebrated across society wholly.
Yeah.
So it feels like the craziest struggle, and you're like, why is everything against me? Why do I have to work so hard?
Right.
Nothing will give me a chance.
Right.
But when you overcome those odds, the amount of inspiration that you provide everybody in the room, it doesn't matter what culture you're from. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you're Swedish
Yeah, I
or,
will get-
or
I will-
some random person in Seattle. It like transcends culture.
Yeah,
I think so.
for sure,
Yeah, I
for
think
sure.
like let's say I get a TV role, right, on Dave or something, and then big clubs start giving me opportunities, and I start touring, and now I start building fan base.
Yeah.
When I tell them this story, then it's gonna be inspiring, and it's gonna be celebrated not just by Somalians and Swedish. It's gonna be celebrated by
It goes way further
As,
Yeah,
than
as, a
that.
further.
human, as a human being, of hustling. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna go. But the thing is, I know I have so much to bring to the world, and I hope I can one day.
Yeah.
But now I'm at the point where we start speaking about struggle. I'm struggling as a comic to become
Of
working
course.
comic.
You're in
Because
the,
I'm in the
the
mecca
mix
of
of it
comedy.
right now.
You know, LA has a lot of comics, a lot of gatekeepers, a lot of assholes.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of good comics.
Yep.
A lot of bad comics, and a lot of people don't like people like me. I'm big personality, loud person because I'm Somalian, and I'm confident as an athlete. And a lot of people in the comedy community don't like that. They're like, this kid's coming up and acting like he's the shit.
Yeah.
But
They
that's
just
the
don't know.
point.
That's my personality.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
also
yeah,
the
yeah.
point.
But
of
I don't
the-
think I'm the funniest.
Or
I
how-
think I'm
and-
getting there.
And how do I stand out?
Yeah.
Like,
And there's so
I
much.
stand out naturally, but they're like, "Why are you so cocky?" I'm like, "How am I cocky? I'm studying this game every day. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm doing mics every day. I'm not cocky, but my personality, they think I'm cocky because I'm so confident."
The thing is because like so like if you're a person like myself and like I dabble in comedy as a hobby, but I don't look at it as my full career path. My full career path is doing like putting more people like yourself on and doing media.
Yeah.
Like I want to figure
I appreciate that.
media
We
out.
need
Yeah.
people
Like,
like,
You're-
I care about.
You're a
but-
producer. You're a
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, I don't know what I am. Like it's something.
but you figured it out.
But I love like comedy is like one of my favorite things, and I like it as a hobby,
Yeah.
right? But what people forget about all of this is that the whole important elements to comedy or movies or any of it, and what sometimes shitty comedians forget because they're like a person like myself. They've come from like lower upper class or middle class, and they've leveraged their whole family's like finances to be in LA, but they haven't really gone through the level of struggle that you have. And so when you're on stage and you're confident, they're like, well, why, how are you so confident? It's like, you don't, dude, you did 3 hours on Venice.
Yeah.
You did fucking
For 3 months.
years
Yeah.
on Hollywood Boulevard in a fucking gimmick costume.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what do you know about being here? It's like, dude, way more than you. Unfortunately.
And my life-
you shouldn't say that. But the reality is you need more people on your side saying, dude, the random other white dude from fucking Seattle that's like, I'm struggling out here too. It's like,
I have a whole
there's
joke about
levels to this shit.
that. I have a joke about that. I have a joke when I talk about my white roommate talking about struggle, and I go, "I used to be a child soldier.
Yeah.
You want to talk about struggles, Chad?
Yeah.
And what's tough
And
is,
people love that because I compared the white struggle and my struggle.
and don't get me wrong, on a daily basis, I still feel like I'm struggling.
yeah, because you're in LA, though. You're in a big city.
So I'm like,
trying to
I'm
make it.
fighting
Right,
against
right,
this
right.
struggle, but we still have to realize that there's levels to
Levels
it.
to the struggle.
And then from it, we have to realize that we have to work together
Yeah.
to
Right.
get to that place.
Right.
And but so that
But the haters don't do that. They'd rather say, I put in 10 years. You're not supposed to just pass me.
but
with
you
your-"
put in a fucking
Yeah.
lifetime.
But they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know exactly. They don't know my struggle. They
know-
don't know my story, and they don't know. Also, in comedy and acting, it's not about how long you've been in. It's about some people have it.
Right.
Some people have the story.
Right,
Some
right.
people have their confidence.
Yeah.
You know.
and
then-
yeah,
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
Well, so the funny thing about it on stage, and that's we're the same. Where we initially came to comedy, but just loving it.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Right.
Me and Elof during an early relationship, we'd go to the comedy store, stay way too long. She'd sleep while I'm still watching comedy.
Right.
And she was like, "Hey, LJ, like, I love going to this with you, but I'm not gonna go that long ever again."
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, I still need to go."
Right.
But it doesn't matter. And in a weird way, the younger you are in comedy, as far as not young as in age, but newer,
Yeah.
and you still being entertaining, that's all that it is. So when you get on stage, you immediately have presence.
Right.
You have an accent, you got hair, you got all this past stories.
Right.
Right.
It's sometimes these struggling comedians, they almost need to turn around and like go to have a life.
Right.
Go struggle and find
Right.
something to talk about.
And that's one thing about me. All my jokes are about me.
Yeah.
And then some guys are like, Mowhaa, you know what's good about your jokes? And I just thought they're funny, interesting, and people like you and they listen.
Right.
Because nobody can say that's their joke and lie because
Right.
there's a lot of haters in. And
AI can't come up with your
I'm like-
joke.
I'm like,
Right.
you can because I'm like, it's based on my story. I talk
Yeah.
about being Swedish. I talk
Right.
about being Somalian.
Right.
I talk about my white roommates. I talk about being African. I talk about this story.
Right.
I haven't even talked about the Hollywood story yet. You know, I got to figure out how to put that in a
How to make
comedy.
it- Yeah.
But that's why, you know what I noticed though, when you go above, like we said earlier, to the superstars of comedy, they already like me because we just talking bullshit.
Yeah.
Bill
Because
Burr
they
stuff.
know they know what's up.
Yeah, they know the struggle, and I feel like they're being nice to me and a lot of comics because they know how poor we are and struggling. But I feel like if they hear this story, they could probably push it out like you are
Of
doing, you know,
course.
or you do it because they are not haters. But it's just like, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm put on the blinders. I'm like, I'm just gonna work and get great.
Yeah.
And all these haters, when I go past them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite documentaries or documentary series that I've ever seen was not the Undefinables. What was the one with it was Dr. Dre's documentary.
I gotta watch it.
It's what is it called?
I know what you're talking
Undefeatables,
No, I know what you're
something
talking
like
about.
that.
Yeah, something like that.
And so
With
it's
Jamie
him-
Iovine and Dr. Dre, but documentary. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre are talking about how to be able to create artists, right? And Jimmy Iovine's like, when you find a person like a 50 Cent that like he's got it, everything he's got, he's like, that person, they have to put the blinders on for a second and just go.
Yeah.
And so you're
that's
in
how I
that
feel.
moment
Yeah,
where it's
I'm
like,
just-
put the fucking blinders on.
Yeah.
Don't think about all this other bullshit of who thinks about stage time, who thinks I should do that. You just have to be like, boom.
Yeah,
And go. And
no-
that's what we're doing too, where we're like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do all this shit yet. We had a live show yesterday that kind of went okay. Went pretty well, but not great.
Yeah.
But you have to just go.
But that's the thing. I'm like, if I put energy on people talking behind my back, because comics tell me these guys don't like you, so you know. And I'm like, I don't care because they won't say it to my face.
Right.
Number two, I'm like, if I worry about confronting these people that's nobody, I'm not putting 100% into my craft. And I love comedy and I want to be 100% in my craft. So I'm like, I'm going to do 100% what I can to get good because I know potentially I could be great.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
and the same thing is like, don't hold it against them that they hate you. Give them grace and be like,
Yeah,
I'll give you enough grace to
Right.
know, I don't know why you hate me.
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea what you're
I
doing.
asked my friend, I was like, why does this guy hate me? He's like, he's doing good in comedy, right?
Yeah.
Why is he hating on me? I'm nobody. I'm in the bottom, right? And he goes, he just don't like that you're gonna surpass him soon, because you got the it factor, you got likable, you got interesting, and he goes, he doesn't like that, so he's trying to. I'm like, but it's like me worrying about a guy that haven't started comedy that's gonna start in 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I'm not getting better.
Right.
But that's why I don't understand these comedians that create shows that might be like, oh, Mowhaa's kind of got it. Put you up.
Yeah.
But the haters.
Like,
The
why
haters.
not have that? Like, dude, have him go right before you, or even if a comic's smart and sees your spot, sometimes put you after them.
And I tell him-
headline you.
and
Why
I-
the fuck not?
And I tell him, if you give me a shot, I'd be very grateful. I always remember it, and I don't care if I go first or middle or last.
And that's exactly what Smalley did.
I can sit three hours. I don't
Yeah,
care.
yeah.
I'm not a comic that's gonna complain.
Yeah.
I can sit for 3 hours, and then they're like, "Can you go up and do 5 minutes after 3 hours?" I'm like, "I would love to. Thank you. I'm so happy for the opportunity." You know?
So
You know?
let's actually transition and talk about that because you're 100% right because that's exactly what Smalley did. David Smalley with me and you at the same time actually.
Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about how me and you met because this is actually kind of interesting on like how I don't know. I feel like it's kind of interesting.
It is
Because number one, David, I met David. I was at the club. I was actually just what was I doing at that club? I think I was just observing that day. I don't think I was even doing comedy that day. If I'm not mistaken. The Hollywood. No. This was at the comedy store.
Okay.
When I met you there. No, I did. No, I just. What am I talking about? I just did comedy. I just did comedy there that day. But I think I was waiting to go up or something like that, or either I just did it after, whatever the case may be. And then David was like, "Yeah, like he's just like we were just having a conversation. He's like, yeah, man, like you seem like really cool. I want to put you on." But he's also a comedian that's like trying to figure it out.
right.
You want to talk in the mic, sorry.
Oh yeah.
And then I met you because you were talking to him, I guess, as well. And then I was just like, oh, like nice to meet you, Mowhaa. Like just like a normal meet or whatever. And how did you meet David? I guess.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
How'd you meet David? I guess.
Oh, so David, I met him at the comedy store.
Okay.
Because I'm always there hanging out.
That same day or
No, before.
before? Okay.
And so, my routine for the last 2 years has been like, I go do open mics.
Yep.
I go to work.
Mhm.
Or I go to work and I do open mics. And when I'm done with open mics, I'm so obsessed with comedy. I go to the comedy store.
Yep.
Hang out at the patio.
Yep.
And if I see a great person on the lineup, which is every night, I go listen to their set.
Yeah.
And then I go outside in the patio and I just talk to comics. I usually talk to the comics that talk to me.
Yeah.
And I talk to like young comics mostly that do mics with me.
Yeah.
So David, he see me all the time and he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" I'm like, "Mowhaa." We talked. He goes, "Are you a young comic? How long you been doing it?" Whatever. We talk.
Yeah.
And I see him there all the time. And then eventually he told me he had a show at the Improv, and I was like, "Is there any way I can open the show? I would love to be on it."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Can you bring some people?" And I know bringer shows. I go, "Yeah, I can bring some people." You know.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
All shows are actually bringer
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. They are.
At the end of the day, like
Right.
too many times younger comedians go, "It's a bringer show." It's like, no, dude. When Dave Chappelle sells out in an arena,
He brings people.
That's a bringer
No.
show.
Yeah.
And not
It's
just
like
that.
a 20,000 person bringer.
Yeah.
Every comedian. has to
everyone.
bring.
You know what's
Everyone.
crazy about bringer show? Like
Same
of
as
comics-
promotion. We could.
A lot of comics hate bringer shows, right?
Yeah.
But once I make it in a few years and I start doing headlining, now it gets real because I have to sell out that club.
Yeah.
It's always,
And
it's always a bringer.
Yeah, the
I
club.
gotta believe my brand is good enough for the sell out.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
not, the clubs are like, "We can't have you back. Sorry, dude."
Literally. So
Yeah.
it's always, like you said, it's always a bringer show because you have to pay them back for the time that you just took for that club.
Yeah.
And with the tickets that you.
The only show that's not a bringer show is a corporate event
Yeah.
that you get paid like $5,000 to do, and
Yeah.
and they all are sitting there and they're
But
like, I don't know who
it's,
Mowhaa is.
but there's also
Entertain
different.
me.
There's also different levels of bringers though. Like if there's a bringer show on Sundays at Ha, right?
Yeah.
Everybody on there open micers.
Right.
So everybody have to bring 5 people for 5 minutes.
That's
which
that
is-
one time I went to that one time.
Which
yeah.
is bullshit because 5 minutes for 5 people.
That
You
makes-
know how much money they're making for 5 people?
Yeah,
drinks?
yeah.
But I get it. I told comics.
I did it too.
I would do that show
Yeah, yeah.
if I'm not getting booked nowhere.
Right,
But I've been
right,
so
right,
blessed
right.
lately. I've been getting booked, everywhere.
Right.
Not a lot, but enough so I don't have to do those shows. Now, if I don't get booked the next 6 months, I'll do a bringer show. I just tell my friends, I need you guys to show up so I can do 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like a degenerate I am, I'll have to be on stage.
It's better than Venice
I'm on
Beach.
stage every day, but I want to be on stage in front of the audience too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Because sometimes at mics you could be killing and you get nothing because everyone's on their phone.
Sure.
And then that's why you can't judge the mic if you're not doing good or not.
No, and also
because the shows is when you
And
judge.
also you're doing comedy in front of comedians.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There's a level like
and then some of them
give
are
you
like,
your
I don't
flowers.
care. I'm just
So-
working on my set.
I'm interested. So LA comedy scene, and we're all in this space where like we got into this during COVID, right?
Yep.
And so since COVID, Joe Rogan's left. A lot of major comedians have left, and
Not a lot, actually.
but like Joe Rogan set,
Yeah, few.
but Joe Rogan set the culture of the Comedy Store, in a big way, and we hear.
I mean, he made it bigger with his podcast. He's the biggest guy.
Yeah,
you know?
But he set the tone for like the comedic culture, right? Like a lot of people like the Comedy Store was kind of synonymous with Joe Rogan for a while, even though the Comedy Store is synonymous with
Richard
historic
Pryor,
comedy
yeah,
culture,
yeah, yeah.
everything. But he was like the next up on.
No,
like,
but he made it like before the pandemic. Comedy Store was selling out 7 days a week, 3 shows a night. No, 6 shows a night, all 3 rooms every night. Because not just was it popular on the podcast, all the comics that was going there was the bigger comics started coming back because they're like, the rooms are sold out every show, and then they start coming back.
Because like Joey Diaz, Tom Segura, Tim Dillon, like those are monsters.
Yeah, Tim Dillon came late there, but Joey and Bobby and Joe,
Theo and all those guys.
Yeah, Theo, they were there years. Ari, they were there years before Tim Dillon.
So where do you see like who is that person now that's like holding down that space, or is it still really undefined? And is it even a place that should be held down by one person?
No. The Comedy Store now is back to normal, back to what it was before pandemic, back to Joe Rogan days. You know why? Because I go there all the time. I live close to it. They're selling out every show 6 days a week.
Yeah, they're packed out.
They're not open on Sundays. And the lineups are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last night I saw fucking Neil Brennan, Chris Spencer, all these great comics.
Yeah.
And then in the other room, Bill Bellamy had his birthday.
Right.
And he had like T.I. and all those guys, you know.
Yeah.
Then upstairs was a showcase, Keenan Thompson for the Crack 'em Up.
Right.
There's all the young comics and unknown comics, black comics.
Right.
Uh,
Chocolate Sunday, all this stuff.
So the Laugh Factory sells out.
Yeah.
And Chocolate Sunday sells every Sunday.
Yeah.
And then Improv sells out.
Hollywood Improv
Hollywood Improv sells out every night.
So they're
7
all
days a
kinda-
week.
They're all
So
kinda
comedy's
doing
back.
it.
And then the lineups are really good if you check their lineups.
Yeah. And
But-
no one gives a fuck about the haha in the comedy
But
chateau.
like I was telling Cameron, me hanging out, me doing comedy during the day, and then going hanging out at the clubs. I got to, since I'm there all the time, I got to start talking to like bigger comics. Start talking to me.
Right.
I start talking to like Bill Burr.
Right.
He's such a sweet guy. One of my favorite comics.
He's really cool.
Yeah.
I become like not like friends with him, but like cool with him. Maybe he like recognize me.
Yeah,
he's
me
like
too.
The coolest guy, and also like I've been a fan with him since like since I was like in my selling insurance days. So like that's like such a interesting meet to have.
Oh
Like, yeah.
no! Do you know him before? You did comedy. Wow.
No. I used to sell insurance, and I used to have like really long drives, and I used to listen to Bill Burr to like crack me the fuck up.
Me too. The
Yeah.
podcast, Joe Rogan and Monday Night Morning podcast was what I listened to when I was all the time.
Right. And then to like now like be like cool with him is like fucking.
It's crazy, bro. The other day, like me and Bill Burr, last 2 years, we have like, hi, how you doing? And
Yeah,
he was talking
yeah.
a little bit. And one
Yeah,
time he
yeah.
got mad at me, and I thought he hated me, and then he became friends with me
Yeah,
again. He didn't become. He was just fucking with me. He did
Yeah.
that Bill Burr rant on me,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh fuck, I fucked up my relationship with Bill.
Yeah.
And the next day he was like, hey man, how you doing? How's comedy?
Yeah.
You hit him, Mike?
That means he likes you.
He's just super nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, how's Bill talking to you every time? One day he gets off his set, and he was this was like last week or 2 weeks ago. I was like, hey Bill, man, I like that new bit. He goes, oh thanks, man. He goes, how come you're not in Hollywood yet, Mo? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, you look like you belong on TV.
Yeah.
And I go, well, tell it to the Hollywood executive. He goes, you do that, motherfucker. Go. And I was like, listen, I don't have a theatrical agent. I have a commercial agent. I don't have no theatrical manager.
Mm-hmm.
Can you introduce me to somebody? Because I think I need to be on TV. And I need that so I can do comedy for a living.
Right.
And he was like, I think about it. You know, just having that conversation with me and thinking, and then when he goes, one time he was like, how many mics you do? I'm like, I try to do like 15 mics a week. And he goes, that's what we used to do. Because if you do that, your name will be on this wall soon. And I was like, just have that conversation with one of my favorite comics. He's my top 3 comic, you know?
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Well,
The
and
nicest guy.
And I think the way that you go like to the screen changes now, right? Because I don't think that like there is that space anymore. Like, where's the movies that you live in anymore? Like, and I'm interested to see when they change. That's why I think what's happening with the Machine movie is transformative of
Yeah.
where comedy goes next.
Yeah.
Because I believe that you're going to start to see things happen through. I think that Bert is going to start coming out with more stuff. I think
Yeah.
Tom Segura. I think Tim Dillon. I even think probably Joe Rogan. They're going to be
They're all writing movies anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
comedy's gonna produce comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have. We haven't seen it fully evolve yet.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
the whole idea of you getting an agent and then them selling you to someone who like Tim Dillon would also get sold to. I don't think that's gonna exist.
No.
anymore.
No, because these comedians
Not
are
anymore.
becoming producers.
But they don't
Yeah.
need it. Once you hit that level, you don't need the agent. Like for me,
Yeah.
the only reason I need agents is so I can audition for Dave.
Right.
I can audition for Rami.
Right.
Right.
Or
I still
Mo.
think you still need
No.
all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
once you get to that level, you don't need them.
No.
You know what I mean? They're quite like I feel like if I was start headlining and I start doing good in comedy, and I'm like popular. I have a lot of followers. Hollywood would be like, "Yeah, we want to cast you in a movie." I don't have to audition because they're like,
Right.
"This guy's such a character."
Yeah. They already know what's up.
Yeah,
like,
if we
Yeah.
need him, we need him, and he already
yeah,
following.
yeah. That's what
Even
these guys are
Dave
getting.
is an interesting show that
Yeah,
like
I like
is,
that show.
It's different than what we're used to. Where
I love
they're-
that show.
I mean, Dave is a comedian in himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's a comedic
Andrew
rapper.
Santino is on the show. Andrew Santino's a
Yeah.
comic.
Well,
Yeah.
Andrew Cancino's giving in a lot of work.
He's gonna be huge. Yeah.
He's great. And then Andrew Santino podcast, I love that. Bad Friends with Bobby.
Yeah, he's great.
And one of the homies that I used to do comedy with, he still does comedy. He's funny. He became a writer on that show.
Nice. Dave. Yeah.
Niles.
No.
Niles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Shout out to Niles. He writes on Dave now.
Yeah.
And he's a comic that's like been doing good, and now he's getting like opportunities. But he's more of behind the screen writing now.
Yeah, there's gonna be definitely a change in like how we like get our pop, if you will.
Yeah.
Like because like I said, like I think comedians are becoming more producers and they're producing these things for us. And
Bill
then
Burr produced a lot of shit.
produces a lot of stuff, and then I realized like
There's not for us anymore. There's only with.
us.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
thing,
what
though.
no, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
I think the person. Okay, I'll let you go. Keep
No, I
going.
was just saying, like, relationships are more important than ever because you're realizing, like, even the relationships that you see of, like, the Joe Rogan relationships, they're all kind of, like, rising with the boat together.
If you're
and
on
then
Joe-
you have, like, can have all these different things that are, like, having, like, high tides and having
Yeah.
rising boats that everyone's doing. Yeah.
If you get in Joe's circle, you made as a comic.
Yeah.
You know, I used to do comedy with Hans Kim. You guys know Hans Kim?
Yeah.
Funny comic.
Yeah.
This is Hans Kim.
Yeah.
This is Hans
Yeah,
Kim.
I used to do mics with him here. Now he's on Kilton regular.
Yeah.
He's opening up with Joe Rogan and Tony, and
Yeah.
now he's touring. Now he's selling out shows.
All over, yeah.
He was in LA. We hanged out. We went to go have some food and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, your life changed. You got a Rolex on.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, Joe is the nice. We already know Joe is the nicest comic.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he looks up for comics.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian Simpson used to open up for Tom Segura, right?
Yeah.
And Tom Segura told Joe, Brian Simpson is funny. He got a special coming out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Joe invited him to the show.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care if I get 100 million views. I want my comic friends to get put on.
Yes.
Shout out David Lucas, the homie.
Hilarious, by the way.
We're hanging out at the Improv one night, and he was like, he goes, I was like, yo, bro, you're in that circle, you made it, bro. He goes, yeah, man, I'm lucky. And I was like, you selling out everywhere? He goes, you know, when I started touring, I couldn't sell out. So he texted Joe Rogan once. He goes, yo, can you retweet this link for me? Because I'm not selling no tickets, and it's in 2 days. He goes, Joe said, no problem. Retweet this link. In 2 minutes, sold out.
Wow.
I'm like, what's in that circle? You made it. You know
That's
what I mean?
incredible. Yeah.
Right.
You know? But that circle is privileged to be in. So I'm not even worried about it. I'm just going to put the blinders on.
It'll-
And that's where
You
my
know,
question
yeah.
was, though,
Happen
with
organically.
that is like, so Joe Rogan is top, right? But I wonder who it is in LA right now that's actually re-curating a new vortex of circle. Because both can coexist at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And
I
there
would
can be
say
multiple
Neil
circles,
Brennan.
yeah.
I would say Chris Spencer when it comes to black comedy because he's producing TV shows and directing
Okay.
and writing and he writes for the Oscars and stuff. Also Neil Brennan.
Neil Brennan's good, yeah.
He writes and does all
Yeah.
that. And
That's interesting.
Bill Burr. Bill
Burr.
Burr is always looking out for comics. Like the
Yeah.
comics that's on to come up, he goes, let me produce your show. Let me
Yeah.
produce your podcast. Let me
Yeah.
produce your...
Got it.
Because he's not going to take 80%. He's going to give you 80%.
Because he's all things comedy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and he produces specials, and he goes, he said it on the podcast. He goes, I want to look out for comics, not rip them off, because I was ripped off.
Yeah, and also, you're right. And also, I'd argue there's comedians that are maybe not popular that are actually helping out quite a bit and putting people on and putting the people out having a show and or they know everyone, but they're just not popular themselves.
Right.
So I would even Johnny Mitchell.
Finally blowing out the homies. Shout out to John Mitchell.
Johnny Mitchell, we're doing. So you might be doing a show with him next week, by the way.
Yeah.
But like him and with us, and then like small, a bunch of these guys, these women, like they're crazy.
I remember Johnny Mitchell when I met him like a couple of years ago.
Johnny Mitchell actually might be that guy, to be honest with you.
Bro, Johnny Mitchell, I remember when I met him, he was dark. People wasn't fucking with him, and he was calling up around the shop and all that, right? But then finally, he started talking about his past. He has an interesting past too, right?
Yeah, the prison whole thing, yeah.
And he's blew up.
Yeah.
Now he's doing Flagrant. He's doing Tom
Dude,
Segura
you're-
podcast.
Talk
I'm like,
about you.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? Back to talk about you.
But I'm so happy for him because a lot of people wasn't fucking with him. They're like, he's crazy, whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now, but he's like, those the gatekeepers that are trying to keep us down.
Yeah.
But now that he passed that step, he's gonna blow up.
then now
know?
he's helping. Now he's getting you on, whatever the case may be.
And then
you got to do the same thing.
Me and
Regardless.
Johnny did a show together, and we were sitting in the green room talking.
Yeah.
And I told him about that story, and he was like, "Bro, you might be fucking more interesting than me." And I was like, "Come on." He goes, "All these gatekeepers gonna hate on you because you're likable." He goes, "Don't
Right.
give up." Johnny's the homie, bro. I fuck with Johnny.
Right.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
cool. He gave me good advice too. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah.
And I'm so happy for him blowing up now,
Yeah.
man. It's about time.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys a story. I went to Bird Crash to get roasted by Whitney and all those,
Oh wow.
and they won't let me in. And I was like, "You let all these fucking non-comics in?" And the door guy's like, "No, we can't let you in." I'm like, "I thought we were friends. I'm here all the time." They're like,
and
"No."
that was like a who's who of
Yeah,
comedy.
yeah. And there's all these piece of shit fucking online influencers that was there. And I was like, "You let all these people behind me?" The door guy's like, No. I guess the door guys don't give a fuck about young comics, right?
Sure.
And I'm like, "I thought we were friends, motherfucker. We see each other every night." Anyways, they were like, "No." And that shit finished. I was outside, right, talking to all these influencers. There were some hot chicks. And then Ian Edwards comes out. That's one of my homies.
Hilarious.
Shout out to Ian Edwards,
So funny.
one of my boys.
Yeah.
He gives me a lot of good advice.
Yeah.
And we talking shit to each other about soccer. I do this podcast sometimes. He does soccer rants.
Yeah.
We talking, and then Don Rawlings comes out. And
Funny.
Don,
So
and Don
fucking
Rawlings
funny.
knows me, right? He's also the homie. He's like, he goes, "Hey, I have a birthday party upstairs at the Andas. Come through." And me, I was like, "Okay, cool." And I'm excited. I'm like, I get to go see Don Rawlings' birthday party. It's gonna be wild. And then as soon as he leaves, Ian goes, "I'm going home." I'm like, "Ian, you can't go home, bro. Without you, I'm not getting in." I don't have his number, because Ian and them used to come together. They're friends.
Right.
I was like, "You can't go." He goes, "Fuck you, Mo. I'm going home." I'm like,
Oh,
"You
no.
fucking." So I was like, "You know what? I have no choice. So I'm gonna go to trying to get in." I get there, there's like suit guys, security.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm going to the birthday party," and they're like, "Who do you know?" I'm like, "Donnell Rawlings." They're like, "Call him because we don't know you."
Oh
And I don't have his number, so I call him on a DM, right? It's not picking up.
Of course.
And I'm like, "Fuck!" I was so close to get into this party.
Yep.
And then, thank God, Jeff Ross comes walking. He goes, "Hey, Mo, what's up?" He gives me love. And I'm like, "What's up?" He goes, I'm like, "Yo, I can't get in. Ian left me, and now they don't know me." He goes, "Come on, you with me." We go in, right? I go in there. I can't believe, like, everybody's in there. Fucking John Stamos.
It's like the sickest green room you've ever been in your life.
It's like
yeah.
a big-ass rooftop, right?
Yeah.
John Stamos, Tony Hinchcliffe,
Yeah.
Whitney Cummings, everybody's in there. Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
fucking bodyguards, Jeff Ross. I'm like, I can't believe this shit. Bad bitches, King Badge, all the homies, right?
Of course, yeah.
I'm hanging out. I'm like chilling, and then now some people from the comedy store was there, and then Richie, the manager of the comedy store, he kicks out all the people that work there because it's too many people. He goes, "All my employees get the fuck out." They all go out, and he comes to me, and goes, "Mo, you gotta leave." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I don't work for you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You gotta leave." And I'm like, "Bro, you don't even let me at your fucking party earlier,
Yeah.
and now you want to kick me out? Get the fuck out of here."
Right.
And he's like, "Who invited you?" I'm like, "Donnell Rawlings invited me. Fuck off, right?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Okay, whatever." He leaves me, right? He leaves me alone. I'm like, he knows me because I play ball with him. I'm
You've
like,
always had a fight to keep
Yeah.
yourself in the room or
like,
get into the
like,
room.
I'm always the guy they're trying to bully. I'm like, I'm the wrong guy, bro. I'm Somalian pirate,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then he leaves, right? So I'm hanging out, I'm having fun. I'm talking to Tony Hinchcliffe. He's drunk. I was like, "Tony, I appreciate you for putting me on Kill Tony 3 times,
Yeah.
Because I know everybody don't get on." He goes, "You're a good guy, man. You remember what's up. You're doing good. I'm proud of you," or whatever, right? And then later on, like, this is not 3 a.m. All these girls are like following Dave around. He got a speaker. They're like, "Can I play music?" He goes, "Fuck no, bitch." And then,
He's just carrying a speaker around.
yeah, and playing music from his phone. So, and this badass light skinned bitch like pull up on me, and she's like, "Where are you from? He's so excited." I was like, "Where you from, bitch? You hot, right?" So we start talking and we start dancing, and she start twerking. And now, like, we're on that wall, right? We dancing, and she's twerking hard on me. She's touching her toes. She's doing all these beautiful things.
Wait, and I would imagine a lot of comedians aren't like dancers.
No.
They're not like dance floor guys.
No.
No.
But we are like going at it, right? And then I'm getting a little embarrassed because I'm like, now Dave's looking at us, Jeff Ross, and I don't want Donnell to get mad at me because Donnell knows me, always roast me. He's like, "Bro, you trying to get attention?" Like, I was trying to get attention. But at the same time, I'm like, she's excited, I'm excited. But at the same time, I don't want to get not invited again by these guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Bitch, slow down. Luckily, she stops, and then she goes, "You funny? You better be funny." And since you see a comic, I'm like, "I think I'm funny."
It's like, I'm in this room. What are you talking about? Who's
Yeah,
not
I
funny
didn't
here?
say that. I was like, "I think I'm funny," And then she goes, "Let me ask a comic." She turns around and taps Dave on his shoulder, and he got a speaker on, right? And she goes, "Dave, is this guy funny?" And I was like, "Bitch, why would you? I'm doing this." I'm like, "Why would you do that?" And
Does he know you at all?
He knows. He's seen me. We talked a few times. He
Okay.
gave me advice and stuff. He goes, "I don't fucking know." And he turns around, right? And then she comes back to me. She goes, "Nobody knows if he's funny." I go, "Bitch, are you retarded?" Now I'm like mad at her, right?
Yeah.
I go, "You think Dave's fucking watching me? You think any of these guys are watching my comedy? I'm nobody."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Don't say that about you." I'm like, "Let me tell you something. All the dick I was about to give you tonight is off the table," right? And as soon as I said that, Dave laughed. And then I was like, I don't need to fuck her now. Because I knew when I said it, I knew I'm not going to get the
You got like a
pussy.
little giggle out of it. It's like, yeah.
But when I said it, I was so mad. I didn't expect no laugh from nobody, right?
Yeah.
And I was also trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But I was like, I hope that didn't stop my pussy. But when Dave laughed, I'm like, I don't care if the pussy stopped there. Dave laughed, you know?
Yeah. That made your night,
Yeah.
not the pussy.
And
Yeah.
then she like, she went crazy on me. She goes, motherfucker, I was never going to fuck you. What do you think you are? Blah, blah, blah. And I go, you were popping that pussy on me the whole night.
Yeah.
You came up to me. I didn't approach you.
yeah,
Even though she was a 10, you know?
Yeah,
I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? But I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a dummy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she was like, fuck off. And she leaves. And I was like, just waiting for Dave to say something. But Dave was going to hack about his fucking thoughts.
Yeah,
You know? So I
yeah.
was like, whatever.
Nuts.
But that made my night, dog. It made
Yeah.
Dave laugh.
Dude, that's chaos.
I want to tell one more story before
Yeah,
before
the-
we
the
get
pirate
done.
story? Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that was interesting is go back to David. David Smalley put us on a show, and Johnny Mitchell got us a sick joke on a Sunday, and we go up, and this is when I meet you like a week ago, 2 weeks before that, and we're talking in the green room, and this was so fucking funny. So you go up right before me. I go up literally right next to you. They put the two black guys together, whatever, right? In the middle of the show, and then so you go up, and you have this. What's his name? Captain Phillips joke.
Phillips joke,
Yes,
yeah.
Captain Phillips jokes.
Yeah.
And it's I'm sitting there like I'm very extremely new to comedy. You've probably been in there probably a couple years at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no! Like he didn't steal my. He didn't have my. I know you didn't steal it, but I was like, you have like my similar punchline. You know, I was like, fuck! I was like, I'm gonna say the same joke like next, and I'm definitely not gonna change it because I already fucking worked on this for like, you know what I mean?
You gotta do your joke, yeah.
And I'm all nervous, so like it's not like I can't freestyle right now. You know what I mean? Like, but it was so funny. But like your joke was not this. It was different, but like had the like Captain Phillips like what's the quote? I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
And then I go like yeah, I'm gonna come in her face, and I'm the captain now. And then like we both got laughs, which is hilarious.
Right.
And I go like Mo. It's just so funny.
Right. No.
And it was like a moment for me to just be like the guy they just said right before. You know what I mean? But like different.
Yeah, you talk about sex. I'm talking about like, you know, if you don't know what Somali is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the captain now.
I'm the
that's my
captain now.
cousin, you know.
Yeah. I'm talking about coming on a woman's
Yeah,
face,
yeah.
and I'm the captain. And it was funny. So like I thought it was really like funny for like as a
Yeah.
new intro. But like I don't know, man. Like I think you've been like knowing you even for a short time. I'm actually really inspired by you, man. And
Really?
no, truly. And I think like from not only your story, but like your grind, like your focus. And I think you do have these fucking horse blinders on. And I really like that. I really appreciate that to know you. And to be able to like I don't know, I might get some pointers from you, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, Mowhaa? What's going on?
I don't know shit. I'll be like, just work.
Yeah, just work.
Work on your shit. Go to
Yeah.
mics, and hopefully we get better. And then
better.
Because I'm thinking all these people are trying to keep us down.
Yeah.
Don't matter. What matters is the next people. Like
Yeah.
when for example, if Bill ever heard this podcast or heard my story, he might be like, oh, you know what? The world need to hear this or put me
Yeah,
on.
right. Sure.
But the guys now, they're like trying to keep
And
me down.
nobody actually has the ability to keep you down.
No.
That
one
is
actually.
a lie. When
That-
you
yeah,
think in your
it's-
head,
That's what I-
someone's
Is
even
it-
trying to keep me down, they're only putting themselves down.
It's only a mental.
Because they're
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
I'm not going to fly as high as Mowhaa, so I just got to give him a jab.
Yeah.
But that's not really keeping you down.
No.
That's
Or-
just them
or-
telling you good night. See
Or
you
telling
later.
the
You're
booker,
going past me
or
right
telling
now.
the booker, this guy haven't done long comedy enough. He don't deserve to be on this lineup. Don't book him yet. Let him work. Saying that's to keep me away from some shows. They don't realize, end of the day, you are not the gatekeeper of the city. You know who's the gatekeeper? The fans.
Yeah.
When I go on stage,
Yeah.
the fans come up to me after every show and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so funny!" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so very humbled and grateful because I'm just trying to get funny."
Yeah.
you know. So I'm like, the fans are telling me now. A lot of fans don't see me because I'm nobody, right?
Yeah.
But when the fans say that, I'm like, that's who's gonna determine who I am,
Yeah.
not you.
100% is the fans.
And also, this famous comic told me, I'm like, you came up with all these guys. Were they all funny in your class? Because I'm coming to ask, like, I'm like, who's your class? Were they funny? You go, a lot of guys in my class was funny, but they didn't make it. They were funnier than me. I'm like, why didn't they make it? And he told me something that blew my mind. He goes, son, don't ever be bitter because bitter kills creativity, and then they got no funnier. He goes, bitter kills creativity. I was like,
yeah. So the people that bitter, it's almost like they're showing you who they are. So like, okay, not you.
bye.
Yeah.
But they're not getting better. That's what he said. They can't
Right.
create because
Right,
they're just
right.
so negative.
Right. Right.
I was like, that was brilliant.
And comedy is one of those things that you can just purely outwork people.
Yeah.
So if you have so many of the check boxes of like just entertaining, straight up.
Yeah.
So once you have that, and then you just outwork people, because most comedians just don't do 15 mics a week.
No.
They just don't.
No.
They talk about comedy, they talk, and they don't do it.
And you know why I started doing a lot? I was doing more in the pandemic. You know why I started doing a lot of mics? Because I heard some of the podcasts, you got to do mics. And then Donna Rawlings and Annie Letterman, shout out to Annie Letterman too. They told me.
Annie
when-
Lieberman?
Annie Letterman.
Annie Letterman.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a funny comic.
The one that kind of looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
She's the homie. But they told me, they're like, dude, when we were in New York, everybody was doing 15, 17 mics a week. And if we didn't, nobody respected you in the scene. And if you didn't work hard and it didn't get funny, nobody cared. You had to work hard. That was the minimum, bare minimum. If you don't do that, and I was like, I'll do better. How about 30? So I started doing 30 in the pandemic because I had no job.
Right.
And that showed that I got better at writing. I got better at everything. You know, I got better at everything.
Yeah.
Just that hard work will pay off. And now it's paying off because I'm making my jokes better. I'm talking about more real shit.
You're really refining that everything. Yeah.
And I'm like, if I just focus on getting good, all this hate is not going to
Well, and then also all of these comedians that are even making stages for people, right? Where they're doing, even if it's like the small room at the Improv, they're trying to fill out those lineups.
Yeah.
And so if they always see your face, when they get down to the list and like, oh, I don't have enough comics, they're going to go, oh,
That's how I got on.
Mowhaa's working.
That's how I
so
got
I
on.
know that I can text him tonight. I know that he might not be my favorite comedian, but at least I know he has his shit together because I've saw him 4 nights last week.
Right.
Yeah. So it's an easy text.
And you know, half of my shows are like that. Just me hanging out, networking. And when I network, I call it light network. I don't really ask for anything. I just hang out.
you're hanging out.
And I only talk to people that talk to me. Because some comics don't talk to the haters. Some comics, Hollywood you know, big time you. And some are like, don't like you.
Yeah.
But the ones that talk to me, usually open micers. And or some famous comics talk to me.
Yep.
And I talk back. And then those are the guys, they're like, oh my God, let me put you on because I see you working. Because when we talk, they get to know me more. They're like, oh,
Exactly.
you did 5 mics today? I'm like, yeah. And then at Adventure, they're like, oh, you know what? I have a show. That's how John put me on.
Yeah.
Smiley, David Smiley.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
let me put you on. I
Yeah,
got a lot of
yeah.
shows like that. And a lot of open mics, how you get on Supernova? I was hanging out there every night. I was just watching. I was buying drinks. I was hanging out.
Yeah.
And the owner was like, thank you for support. I'm like, no, I love your show. And he was like, you know what? I know you're a comic. You want to do a set? And I did 10 minutes in the lineup of Insanity. Adam Ray, Maz Jobrani, Andy Letterman, Adam Hunter. Crazy lineup.
Yeah.
And I did 10 minutes and killed. And he was like, it was sold out, 250 people. And he was like, you come back. And all the comics, how do you get put on? I'm like, I got lucky.
And also,
I was hanging out there. I was at the right time, right place.
that's
And
what
it-
people
it-
forget because
Yeah.
it's like he also was like probably sitting down going, "Fuck, I don't have an act," and he's like, "But Mo's here,
Right.
Yeah.
and I like the guy enough
Right.
to just do it."
Right.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Lucky is I put the,
There's no such thing.
No, but that's my point.
Yeah.
You fucking do the work.
and you know what? That was
be at
part
the
of my
right
work
time.
for the day. I was like, after Mike's, I'm gonna go hang out at Supernova. Not just do I like the show, I just want to show my face.
Yeah.
And hang out. Not ask for anything. Pay for my shit.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
the guy liked it, appreciated it, and gave me a shot.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, how the fuck are you? Some comics told me, how do you get on? And some comics say behind my back, how's that guy getting on? He's not even
Because
funny.
you were fucking
But they
there.
don't work. They're sitting at home doing nothing.
and
You know?
like they're watching podcasts
Yeah.
and being like, "Well,"
And then they see my social media, they're like, how the fuck did you get on?
Yeah.
Tiovana let me open. Motherfuckers are like, how the fuck did Tiovana let you open? I'm like, me and Tiovana was just hanging out at the bar. There was nobody but me and him at like 1:30 a.m. And we just roasted each other for
Yeah.
like 30 minutes.
You
and
went
and I
you went
roasted his
lip-to-lip
ass.
with Theo Von.
Yeah, I roasted his
Theo
ass.
Von is like the fucking king of fucking
Yeah.
giving you shit.
Because he started giving me shit,
Yeah.
which is a cool ball busting for the young
Yeah,
guys.
it's fun.
But he didn't know I can go and roast him. So I
Wow.
roasted him. And he also appreciated that I was holding my ground and not backing down because he's a starter and like kissing ass.
Yeah.
And also he knew there was nobody I was trying to impress. There was nobody there, just me and him and the bartender. You know? And he laughed. And when I laughed, I kept roasting him. And he roasted me too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, yeah, of
And then next time he did a show at the Wilton, I bought a ticket.
Yep.
$30 ticket, the nosebleed ticket.
Yeah.
I was sitting up there and I DM'd him. I go, yo, man, I'm at the show, man. Kill it. He goes, 10 minutes later, he DM'd me. He goes, where you at? Man, I'm outside trying to get you in. I go, no. I already got a ticket, bro. I'm at the nosebleeds with the broke comics.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. Why are you looking for me? I'm like, you don't have to do that. Go do, worry about your show. He goes, okay, hit me up after. He was so nice. He was trying to get me in the show. He thought I was just outside.
Wow.
And I didn't even know he was going to see my DM to start off with. Because before that, I never DM'd him. We just talked in person a few times.
Right.
And I roasted him once. And after the show, I DM him. I go, yo, they're kicking us out. Where you at? He don't respond. So some of the Tio Von's fans liked me because I was just talking shit the whole time. And they're like, let's go have barbecue. Korean barbecue. We have barbecue. And I look at my phone. 30 minutes earlier, I got DM from Tio. He goes, where you at?
Wow.
And I was like, he's not going to respond now. It's been 30 minutes. So I DM. I go, yo, I'm across the street, the Wilton, having barbecue with your fans. Right? And he was like, pull up to the green room. And I was like, how do I get there? He goes, go to the back. And I'm thinking he's going to send somebody out to get me in. He comes out, literally gives me a hug. He goes, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate you. Come hang out. We hanging out. We take pictures. And then we leaving. I'm like, yo, thank you for letting me fuck with you.
Yeah.
Right? And thank you for trying to get me into your show for free. I didn't mean to. I bought a ticket. And he's like, he goes, Mo, you're a good guy. You want to do my show at the Laugh Factory? I'm like, do I want to do a fucking your show? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
Just tell me where and when.
He started laughing. He goes, yes or no? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I'm going to Maui for a week. Just DM me in 8 days, and then you could be on the show. And literally 8 days later, I DM him, and I'm like, I don't know if he's going to respond. It's been too long. He just responded right away. He goes, pull up tonight, man. You're on the lineup.
That's sick.
That
It
is
was
unreal.
wild.
Yeah.
Tio, not just was he one of my favorite comics, he's now one of my favorite people. He's such a sweetheart. Because he didn't have to do that to me.
Yeah.
After the show, we hanged out, right? Everybody kicked out. We were just chilling. I was like, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. He goes, stop saying that, man. It's just a stage time. I'm like, do you know Laugh Factory and these big clubs what they do to us comics? He goes, yeah. I'm like, they would never let us perform here.
Right.
If it wasn't for you. It's not just a stage time.
Right.
I'm like, the only stage time I can guarantee you get is a mic.
Right.
The other shit is privilege. I'm like, especially be on line up with Eric Griffin,
Right.
you, Trevor Wallace, all those legends.
Yeah.
And at the Laugh Factory, they're sold out. I'm like, this is a privilege. He goes, nah, man, it's fine. I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, take some credit, bro. You the man. And he's like, no, you know.
He won't accept it.
It's sweet. Yeah, it's too nice.
Yeah.
After the show, his fans taking pictures with me, and I'm like, apprehensive. I'm like, no. Because I'm like, I don't want you to think I think I'm somebody special all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the man right there. I can't go holler there. You know? But they were nice. They were like, man, you're so funny. And I was like, oh, me. And that was one of my favorite shows because it was sold out.
Right.
I did only 7 minutes, but it was great. I have a video of it. It was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's cool,
amazing.
man.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
We're still in the struggle. We're going to make it one day.
We gonna make it.
It's gonna
man.
happen.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening. That's the whole thing too. It's like it is happening.
Yeah.
Right. Like the process has already been laid. But yeah, your grind is inspirational, man. So we appreciate you coming on.
Yo, look out for Moa, man. And where they find you on the socials? Like where they find your next show? Tell them what's up.
If you go to my Instagram, I do mostly Instagram. MOWH AAA Mowhaa.
He's always on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah. I just posted like 3 flyers about my next upcoming shows. That's how obsessed I am. So if the reel is too fast, check out the picture. I have a picture too.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I have like next couple of months. I have a couple of weeks, 2 months. I have like a lot of big shows. I'm doing graduation at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Chocolate Sundays.
Yeah,
I moved up from
Chocolate Sundays, yeah.
first impression to the graduation, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
If I kill it, I might become regular, which is great.
Let's go.
I'm doing a Flame Monroe show on the Laugh Factory.
Say it again.
Flame Monroe.
Flame Monroe.
Yeah, it's a trans comic lady. She's gonna put me on her show. She said next month
Nice.
at the Laugh Factory.
Nice.
Shout out to Yaying Summers. She's gonna put me on some dope shows.
Nice.
She want me to open for her in Vegas.
Nice.
At one of the shows at the Wynn Theater is 2,000 seaters, so that's gonna be probably the biggest show I ever did.
Whoa.
I'm going to Seattle with some homies to open for them. I'm going back to San Diego. Mic Drop, shout out to Mic Drop. They called me back after doing my set. They want me to headline. I'm excited.
That's right.
I'm gonna pack that bitch out. Somalians in San Diego, y'all better pull up.
Yeah. That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But I'm excited for that. And then I have like next week I have a couple of shows that I'm doing Haha coming up too. I'm doing Los Globos, Omar Gooden Jr.'s son.
Yep.
Omar Gooden, not Cooper, but Omar his son. He's doing a show at the Los Globos next week. Next Wednesday. Pull up. I'm doing that with some dope comics. Yeah, man.
I like it.
That's exciting. We got Mowhaa in the place. Appreciate it. This
Thank
was
you.
Smart and Wild.
Thank you
bless
for
you all.
having me, guys.
Wow.